He is radio silent.
Yeah, no worries. Oops.
This is fine. I feel like, yeah, we can make it work. Yeah, it's also not like out of the question to say that hey, we probably would have snuck off at some point to explore.
Yeah, we do have to come up with a reasonable excuse as to why you guys are doing your own thing. I'm still wrestling with that, but I mean, we can come up with something. But,
Well, I have a pretty good in character reason I would want to pull Henri away for a second to show her something.
okay, good. That's good.
I, I probably would have wanted to get somewhere safe away from the rest of the group to show her what I got during my level up.
Yep. Yep, that's cool. All right, let's see. I'll make the stream go live.
Henri, if you cast Tiny Hut, does Private Sanctum go away? Are they both concentration? Oh wait,
Yeah.
yeah, you're totally right. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, she can use an action to like dismiss it whenever she wants, but yeah, it's not
Okay.
concentration.
So they are stackable if you were to have one like because I know. Yeah.
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 Yeah, the funny thing is Private Sanctum, and I'm sure Henri has already thought of this, Private Sanctum is an even better jail, assuming you can get the physical part of that down for wizards. Because if you can cast Private Sanctum and also put them in like a metal box that they cannot get out of otherwise, they can't teleport out of it. So it's really good for keeping people in too. But but yeah. And of course they can't be scryed and all that fun stuff too. So yeah. That's what I mean. You have to figure out how to do the physical part. That's what I was saying. Like you have to put it in a metal box or something. But then as long as you can do that, like it's still going to be dark around the edges or whatever. But there is no. You can just walk like through it. It doesn't. There's no. But this is one of the more effective ways to like basically keep a wizard, a high level wizard somewhere that you want him because assuming you can get the physical part down, there's nothing they can do. They're just stuck for 24 hours.
All right. So next time, Car.
Like disintegration or something. I mean, it'd be tough to keep him in, but otherwise he's just going to teleport out. Like otherwise he's literally just teleporting out of whatever you put him into. So and he can't with Private Sanctum. The really nice thing too is that everything you can't see out through the area, which is important later. Like even things like dark vision do not work. So I still think it's funny that like wizards, like especially divine wizards. I know why it's a balance thing, but like Should you be getting anti-abjuration spells? It's so weird, but whatever. It's fine though, because that's what this truly is. This is anti divinity, but it's fine. I mean, it makes sense, and for balance reasons, you have to be able to choose this stuff. So yep. Yeah, that's why I felt like, yeah, exactly. Like it is punishing if you don't get it. So yeah.
Yeah, and that probably would have happened while I was finishing up in the book because I went into the book like an hour or two later than everyone else.
Yeah, the only way this is going to have to make sense, guys, is that you'll just go ahead and go through your leveling process, and then it'll have to be in the morning. You guys decide you're going to do your own thing first, while everyone
Yeah,
else is. Yeah.
yeah, and then that way, Henri can put up private sanctum. Oh, Lee might be joining us in a second. Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah. No worries. Yep. No worries.
All right, so after I get out of my book, I, I'm I'm probably just gonna do a once over of the room, and I'll just let everyone know. I'm just gonna make sure that we're still safe, and I'm just gonna do a divine sense real quick,
Hmm.
and trying to keep it pretty secret. I'm gonna just see if Z pops as anything.
So you're just popping divine sense, right?
Yeah, I'm just popping divine
No,
sense.
Z does not come up in your divine sense. You don't get anything new, right? Let me look.
No, I don't get anything new. I just haven't. Yeah.
I mean, you have theoretically done this in close proximity with Z, but just to be sure, Z does not come up with anything.
Okay.
She's not a fiend or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Hey, no, Lee, this is not something that's necessary at all. It's just Keto and Henri were going to do some. Uh, they just wanted to do some like extra stuff and do some like information stuff gathering around. So this is not something that you have to do by any means. It's just Kino and Henri. So
I'm luckily not doing anything. I'm out on the road and have to pick up something at Target, but
yeah, yeah.
I've got time and I can listen to the phone right now. So if
Okay.
you want me around, I can be on. I might have to step away for a few minutes, but I'm pretty
No
good.
worries. It's totally up to you. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you want to listen, that's fine. If not, it's totally cool too. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you had two choices, Lee. So essentially, you could have worked on the magic item all night, or you could have leveled up. The thing is, you don't know if this is a punishing choice. So, for instance, for all you know, when you wake up the next morning, your book will not be open again because it just opens up at random times for you. So, and the ring is something that you could theoretically fix anytime you want. With the modern, assuming the modern stays the way it is. So, I just wanted to see what your decision was.
Um. Okay. I basically. How does the? What is my sense on how the Modron works?
Well,
That if I do it and it doesn't make me tired, there was some sort of component like that. Like
no.
what?
So you can do this all night, and you will not be tired because it's injecting something into your veins essentially that will allow you to do this as much as you want. However, what you don't know is the book. The book is also like vibrated, and everyone else is going to go in their books to level.
Uh
But
huh.
you would have to make a conscious decision to not level. If the next morning your book is no longer accessible like it has been most of the times, then you're stuck a level lower until everyone else levels, and that could be something that you'd have to deal with. So
See,
that's
when it came up
yeah.
the other day, do I feel like I can disengage the Modron, bring it into my book, and do it there?
So that's a good question. The thing is, unfortunately, you just haven't figured out how to bring the Modron back. You figured out all of the. So you figured out so at least you have the clues to figure out how you were able to transform the Modron, even though you may not have gotten it. Like there's a clue there, but to go back the other way, you haven't discovered yet. You don't know how to make it transform back into like a monodrone. You don't know how to make it transform into the answering thing either. So the answer is that at this point you're going to have to make a choice. Like, do you want to level or do you want to stay up all night and fix this ring?
Ooh. Yeah, well, it's two tough decisions too. There's me and Abel.
Right, because the reality is this: you could always fix the ring tomorrow. You may not be able to level tomorrow, but you don't know. For all you know, you can level tomorrow. But
What was refresh me on the ring? Where did we find it, and what do we know about it so far?
you just found it in Neverwinter, and it was the ring that electrocuted people when they turned it on. So you don't even
Oh,
know how important this thing is.
big did. You know, he kind of talked some shit about being able to check it out earlier, so I think he's going to be somewhat stubborn and go for the ring.
Okay. All right. All right, so you'll be that's a good thing for your character anyway. So that means all night you would have been doing this, and like I said, the one thing that you'll find in the morning, but you kind of had an idea of this going into it, is that you don't. It's like you never had to rest. You're perfectly healthy the next morning, going through everything with the ring.
He
Um,
kind of thinks that the book will wait for him, but
yeah,
he doesn't know that. So
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
he's going to be a little bit prideful here on following through on the ring.
Okay. Yep.
Mhm.
All right, guys. So what we'll do is, so Abel, we're gonna pick up. You have not finished figuring this ring out, and
Okay.
this will be early in the morning for you, Kino, and Henri.
All right.
All right. So I'll step out of my book with the helmet on and my sort of my hood up and cape blowing, and step out of the book and sort of sheath my sword. And uh, so how how is your book? Oh, really? Oh, yes. Well, I also, Chris, would anything have changed in my book now that I
No,
took a
so
level?
let me explain. Let me explain how this works. So what ended up happening is you went down into your book and you actually talked to the teacher and explained to him everything that you wanted to learn. And the teacher, what ended up happening was the teacher went back to you and said that it would need to leave, and you would basically need to go all the way outside of your book and come back in, but it will make the proper preparations. And you do that, and you literally come back into this like essentially like cosmic area where it's basically this. So you walk back into your book, and it's this large orrery. I don't know if you know what those are, but it's basically a device that shows like celestial body alignments and a bunch of other things that are very very different than what you walked into, but they're all cosmic and celestial for the most part. And then you see another teacher there that's a woman in like long robes, and she explains to you how to use your emotions to go through all these things, and that's who teaches you this.
Ew, emotion.
A-
Yeah,
And okay, that's
yeah, very
I prob-
different than what
I
you were.
probably
Yeah,
oh, that's awesome. I would have been very excited to tell Henri all about that, and the
yeah.
fact that I got a little bit of a, different change
But
of
it also
scenery.
means,
And
that you innately had magic, because the only people that can do that, the only people that can actually use essentially like the Force. That's all sorcerers are doing. That they're basically using like some kind of crazy emotional connection to the weave to wield magic. That's how she explained it to you, and that's how she was teaching you. You've always had this, like always. Anyone who takes a class in sorcerer just lucks out, and they've always had it, obviously. So that's how you're able to do these things. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I will absolutely show you. And look at this. And I reach across the room and oh gosh, what's I don't know what's in the room. A pillow from the bed.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's fine. Yep.
I'll pick it up and I'll bring it over to me with Mage Hand.
Yep.
No,
I got
Yep.
spells.
you can make toast now.
You can tell that he's casting it differently, though. He doesn't. I believe that you do not need a verbal component in any of your spells, right? Or semantic. Let me see. How do sorcerers cast? There's something special.
I'm looking at Mage Hand specifically, and it says I need verbal and somatic.
Okay,
But
that's fine. That I think Honoree's right. I think you have to use your sorcery points in order to
That
do
rings
this.
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, it was awesome. And, you know, so what was in your book? You got polymorph? Oh yeah. Ooh, well, that'll be
Nice.
pretty good, especially here. You could cover the whole room with it.
Now, the other thing too, your teacher did explain this to you. You can totally make this private if you want to, but the whole reason why, and very fortunately for us, it's also built into the canon. The reason why you have this power specifically comes from your draconic bloodline, and she's
Yes,
going to be very clear about that. Yeah.
yes, and I will be eager to not yet, but I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. They don't need spell books though. So
Yeah,
you would notice that immediately that he has no spell book. Yeah.
it's all innate, and
Yeah.
so I will.
And he does cast very differently than you. I just so he would cast it completely differently than what you're used to, Henri.
And there, yeah. I mean, if you want, I mean, we could explore. It's a little. It's not as bright as I thought it would be outside, but I mean, if you want, I. Who's in the room right now?
Everyone is technically in the room, although most people would still be in their books. You guys are just getting out first. So Abel is definitely still in the very middle of the room, working furiously on this magic item. You
I'll
see
explain.
Abel in the device. Yeah, Abel's still working in the device. Yeah, yeah.
Do I see his book? Is his book look like
Yep.
it's still hanging on
Yep.
and
Oh,
held up?
his book is open, affixed to the his book is open, affixed to the floor. Everyone else's book is closed, affixed to the floor. And you've seen this every time. Like you know these books can't be lifted at this point and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Hmm. All right. Abel. Uh, I wave
Yeah.
a hand at
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. What?
You can hear. You can see me. How's it? How's the ring look?
So Abel, you know
Um,
that you've got about an hour or two left, but you're close.
I explain a number of arcanic minutia to you in
Yeah.
drudgery and
Yeah. Abel
over
does
detail.
Abel does find that once he was able to get to the lower metallic elements of the ring, the problem lies within the problem lies within this gold filament that runs through it, and the resin like glass to get into that was incredibly hard to basically pierce. Abel is using light to reflect and refract around the edges to basically like hard solder in these like changes that he has to do. He has to basically take all this gold filament and reposition it so that it actually works, instead of the person who created this originally, unfortunately, fucked it all up so that it's just a bunch of raw energy.
I assume he probably holds the ring up. Various lenses kind of go between you and it with different lights so you can see, and he's like describing it to you.
Yeah.
I'll definitely pretend like I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'll nod and like, well, good luck.
Abel, and by the way, Abel, innately you also know that that you've just never ever heard of anyone that's able to fix magic items. Quite frankly, other wizards can certainly fix magic items once they've created them. Like if you actually created the item, then it's very, very possible to fix it. But fixing someone else's magic items, this is going to be a very, very prideful thing for you, because it's kind of unheard of. So there's that. So you would probably be proud of yourself. This is all private stuff. You don't have to tell anybody this, but that's the truth is that just a wizard can always fix his own items eventually once he fucks it up or tries to go through it. That's very common. What's not common is it's basically like using someone else's code with no descriptions or anything. It's like very unheard of, like crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So he's probably like not that he has a total amount of subtlety, but he's just like mentioning that he's fixing it, expecting you to be impressed by it, but not like.
And Kino wouldn't even know. Yeah, Kino, you probably don't even know that. You're like, oh yeah, anybody can fix anything. It's whatever. But yeah.
They're like,
Henri would know. Yeah, Henri, you would know that this is an incredibly difficult task. And by the way, normally what's supposed to happen is, so anytime a magic item is broken, and this may come up later, so it's important for you to know this, Abel. Anytime a magic item is broken, number one, you're never going to know it's broken probably until you start to use it or someone warns you. It can totally happen where you pick something up, it's a magic item, and it does backfire on you, and it's disastrous. That is 100% canon. It has happened in stories and everything. So anyway, there's that. But on top of it, Henri, you would know that that the magic item itself, this is all very dangerous. If Abel doesn't get this right, like if Abel were, so it's supposed to be impossible, mostly impossible. And what Abel was doing was already risky, because if he fails and he does activate the item, then it's possible that there's going to be some kind of backlash. This has killed people in the past. Like people have needed to fix. Like generally, this is what happens. I should really explain this because it's super important in the lore. So a long time ago, when people were basically like in Nethril and also like even before then, there was a specific device that was built by Lathander that was meant up north to essentially allow people to live there without having to like dying from the cold or whatever. And actually it was meant to also kind of start to cultivate the frozen north, in the sense that it would like melt the snow and let people like go through. This is a real item that existed. And so this was like a giant tower that was built with a bunch of like artificial suns about around this huge golden like circle or whatever. And it was built specifically for this purpose, but it was so complicated and they fucked it up to the point where it literally broke one day. And when it broke, it like incinerated the tower and went through a bunch of it basically like ripped apart like half a town. This is all in the this is all like happened a long time ago. So it took out a town, it took out a bunch of other things, it killed a bunch of people. But the reason that happened was because it was discovered, and this was built by 7 people. It was discovered that there was a flaw. So they knew that it was a ticking time bomb, but this wasn't supposed to happen for like 50 years. So what they did is all 7 people that worked on it started to work on it. And it's basically a check. So they would do a check every single day to make sure that they were fixing it properly. And because everyone had worked on it, they had advantage, number one, the equivalent of advantage, and they also had a bunch of bonuses. However, there were some pieces of it that talked to the other mages, so they couldn't use those because they had to work on the other mage's part. One of them fucked up, rolled really low, and it blew up the tower and took out a town. So that's 100% already happened in the world. There's like some other examples of this. So generally, that's how this all goes down. Like, it's
So
very
so
dangerous to work on other people's shit. So
so
Henri, you would kind of know this, and you would be really
so
impressed that people even tried. So yeah.
so the impossible thing that you're not supposed to do because it blows up towns, I'm doing that.
Well, except for the fact that that was a devastatingly large magic item built by 7 high ritualistic elven wizards that literally were doing magic that doesn't even exist in the world today because of what happened with Mistra. However, yes, it is the same thing. If you could easily kill yourself. Like, I don't think you could blow up you don't think you could reasonably blow up the tavern with this, but you could totally kill yourself doing this otherwise. However, the Modron, when you sat into it and when you started looking at it, you were so intelligent that you realized that this was going to end up working. So to you, it wasn't that much of a risk. It's just a pride thing at this point. But Henri, yeah, you would have known this was dangerous for sure. But it's
Is there
Abel's
anything?
life. I mean, he's putting his own life at risk. So
Is there anything that breaks a magic item besides misconstruction?
there is theoretical. So magic items don't get damaged naturally. If they did, this would happen all the time, because all it takes is a rune or a magical weave, like semantic like structure underneath the magic item to be broken. However, because they're almost indestructible for the most part, this never ever happens. However, there is a way, and we haven't gone onto this or ever seen it, but there is a way for super high level wizards, like for instance Elminster and other wizards that are closer to Mistra, to build magic items that deteriorate over time for this very reason. It's a really evil, fucked up thing to do, but those do exist within the world. Those are the only ones that can break naturally. Other than
Oh,
that, no, they're not going to break.
eat those dudes.
Okay.
Yes, there are ways to destroy magic items. In the process, this has also happened. Like, there are specific things you can do to destroy a magic item. They're usually different, and if the magic item's power enough, it's going to have it in the. You can actually find these in D&D Beyond, where you'll see how to destroy them. But there are ways that can go wrong. Like if you're going through it and you, for instance, roll a 1, like it's like Frodo throwing the ring into Mordor in the volcano. If theoretically, if he had done that in a way that he was stupid enough to like touch the ring to the lava as he was going through it, there is supposed to be a magical backlash even within D&D. So there are ways that if you're like stupid enough to like or do something crazy or roll 1 while you're destroying a magic item, theoretically this is also supposed to happen, because as you're destroying it, you're obviously breaking the internal structure of that magic item.
Mm-hmm.
So it would of course go off. But yeah.
Release the weave.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, but what you're doing is a great undertaking, and I don't want to downplay this at all, because I mean, obviously, you are the only person I know that does what you do. So I don't quite know how it works, but it's quite amazing.
Thank you. That's I know you can't understand all of it, and I appreciate that probably not.
Yes, don't put it on.
Yeah, I don't want to mess this up and do it wrong. I'd keep like 3-4 steps away, probably, especially if you see me like really focused.
Take a step back. I are you going to be all right here? I think everyone else is going to be out in just a little bit. Maybe talk to brother when he gets out. He mentioned some stuff
Okay.
last night. But other than that, we're gonna go get breakfast.
Okay. Sounds good.
And yeah, and
I'll be
I'll let
working here.
Well, good luck. Don't die.
I'll try not to. I have to at a game. I have to step away for a couple minutes.
It's fine.
Hopefully only a few minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll check back when I am back.
Cool.
Thank you. That was very cool.
And by the way, Abel, you start to get the impression of what this could do. You think it can actually store a spell in it, but you're not exactly sure until you're done.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. I'll check you back in a couple minutes, hopefully. Bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, and I will lean in as we're walking away from Abel and go, Henri, when we get somewhere, I got to show you something. Not now, not here. Somewhere where it's a little bit more private. I got some stuff. I can't say. I look back at Abel.
Yeah.
That's not the time. Did you? I mean, if you want, we could go snoop around town a little bit. Also, I look like me again. I no longer have the disguise on. So,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is both of you are undisguised at this point. That's right.
not exactly. I do a few gestures, and I try to, as best I can, replicate the disguise from last night by casting disguise self on me.
Okay. Yeah. You can do that. You can. Your clothes will not be the same, obviously, because you just don't have them. But with the disguise kit, you can totally try to make yourself out to be similar. It won't be perfect, and somebody might be able to see through it now because this is not an illusion. But it's
I have
good.
the
It's
disguise
decent.
self spell.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were using disguise kit. Oh, perfect. No, it can be exactly the same then.
And
Yeah,
I'm
that's fine.
going to make my disguise as well as Henri's disguise. Oh yeah. Sorry. Wait, what am I thinking? Oh no. Sorry, I'm looking at I will just do myself then. Sorry.
Yep. Yep.
I was looking at the disguise. I was looking at the
Yep.
disguise spell, which is not level 1.
Yep.
Yeah, so I will just do myself as closely replicating as my previous illusion that Karsus gave me. Probably not as perfect because he's a little bit more talented than me.
Yep.
So there we go. Look, and this is fine anyway. I'm sure people like you a little bit more than they like me, so no problem.
Yep. All right, cool, guys. All right. All right, so let me get your miniatures out so we can keep track of where you are. All right.
Oh wow, this isn't much of a morning, is it?
Yeah, that's the first thing you notice when you walk out is that it's very similar, very, very similar to kind of what you left. It's only twilight, for instance. And right now, you can't even see the sun. And it's a little darker than what it looks. Hold on. Yeah, it's like this. So it's almost night at this point. It seems like it's almost night, even though clearly you know it's morning for sure.
And as we're walking out, do I see the lady that owns this inn? I remember she was here when we got in last night, so I'm not
No,
sure.
she must be in one of the rooms or something. It's still, but it's just around like 8:30. So
Okay. Well, if I don't see her as we're walking out, maybe when we return, I'll keep an eye out. Maybe we want to get a second room just in case. We could spread out a little bit. I know Johnny dropped a considerable amount of gold, trying to.
yeah, yep,
So I'm sure it won't be a crazy ask for just a second room.
yep. Oh, sorry. Yep. My phone's dead. My phone's dead, by the way. But hold on, I'll charge it. Yep. She did offer a second room. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe that's
You can work
something
that. You can work that out with her. You can work that out with her a little later. Yep.
Yeah. If it is, and if the gold was sufficient, I would have probably just grabbed the key and just pocketed it, just so I don't have to worry about who has what and whatnot.
Yep.
Well, uh, so oh gosh, we could go get a breakfast. Look at this. We have a day to ourselves. We don't have to worry. It's just it's relaxing for once. When's the last time we could say that?
All right.
Yeah. And I guess we could walk across the street to the tavern I did not get the name of last session.
Yep.
Is there signage?
Yeah. So if you go through and walk all the way over to here. By the way, those sleds are still there. No dogs. So if you walk back, there is going to be a sign. In it and so there's let me explain this real quick. So over the door there's an old battered sign, and the sign in common says the North Look.
Uh, could you repeat that one more time? I
The
just want to
door
make
is
sure.
open. The door is open too. It's the North Look. The name of the tavern is the North Look.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. And it's still pretty
It's
bitter
it's open.
cold.
It's very, very cold. And this is open already because they're already open for breakfast. And you can hear like noises and everything coming from this tavern. I mean, there's clearly lots of people inside of it.
Yeah, I will walk in.
Yep.
Get the door.
Yep.
Look
So
around.
so immediately when you walk in, the thing that you notice first is there are at least 10, maybe more, dwarves within this area. But they are all within. They have some pretty extreme cold weather gear on, meaning that you can't. Basically, they're like Eskimos in the sense that every single covering of their skin is covered, even their faces, all the way up to just their eyes. There's like a slit where they don't have leather and fur, and they're like really really bundled up, and it looks like the reason why they haven't taken it off within the tavern is because the way that this is crafted is that it's just hard to take off, because it's meant for extreme cold weather conditions. So there's 10, at least 10 dwarfs in this general vicinity over here. Um, there's also a bunch of humans like sitting in these tables here. So right now it's just dwarves and humans. Um, Outside of the humans, you see there's, like, for instance, in this table that I'm pointing the light at. Um, there's what looks like a company of like 4 people. They're all human males. They look pretty rough. They all have like capes on with hoods. You can tell they're brandishing weapons. And this table over here, this is the only thing closest that you've seen so far of maybe fledgling adventurers. You're not sure. The only reason why that could be the case, there's 5 of them. Um, One of them has a staff out, Henri, that you notice could be a wizard staff. And one of them does have like a large battle axe strapped to them. So it's a human, it's a human male, like maybe wizard, human male with basically a large battle axe. Another human male that's just got on like a robe and some other nondescript clothing. Another human male that's got like a bow sitting next to the table, and this one here, and then the last human male has what looks like just robes on as well, but no staff or anything. So
Huh.
you can hear the dwarves already. Like, they're really loud and loud and semi obnoxious actually. And they're talking about they're laughing about some kind of mining accident.
And how many dwarves were there in the big heavy winter coats and
So
everything?
so so at least 10 on first glance, but if you want to go through and truly like count, Once you start counting, it's going to take you like 10 minutes or so. There's actually like 14 dwarves in these areas here.
Oh gosh, it
But
is
you don't see the same
really.
the owner of the North Look, the same guy that told you about Old Bitey, is not there. There's a stout dwarven woman behind the counter now.
Right. Yeah, I'll pull up a barrel at the bar and sit down.
Yeah. All right. So, in Henri, you are not disguised, right?
I am not.
Right. So the first thing the woman says is, "Oh, I think I was in the back, but I think I remember seeing you from last night. Is that right?" And that's you. That's you, Kino.
Yes, I
Hey,
was.
I'm back.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
we
Abel.
got
Yep.
in. We got in the middle of the night last night. It was yeah. We expected to be here a little bit earlier, but how the weather is.
Yeah, she said it's been really, really bad for the past year. It seems to be getting a little worse. These are really scary, awful times for us. It's a pity that you're coming to visit now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I heard about the recent events surrounding
Well, she said with this, that there's a lot of things going on, but with these human sacrifices and everything, like folks are
yes,
always on edge now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You just yeah. I didn't want to say it out loud. I didn't want to disturb anyone's breakfast, but yes,
No, I mean
human sacrifice.
this is daily within the town. Like people, you won't have to hide anything within 10 towns. You'll find that the people are always direct, and they appreciate you just being forthright, even if it's contentious or confrontational. She said, but she said, to be honest, things have definitely gotten worse recently. It seems to be getting a little colder. Some of the shipping lanes are now completely frozen over. As a matter of fact, we haven't gotten our trade shipment in for weeks. So when this ale runs out, we might have to start going locally between the other towns to start bartering.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Um, may I ask you? We're relatively new to the area. The sleds out front. I don't think I've ever seen them. Something like that.
Oh yeah, she said they're specially outfitted sleds. We actually use the owlbears to pack larger goods for us. So they've been specially outfitted to have some of the tamer owlbears come through that we that the trainers have been able to work with to bring those in. But again, those put folks on edge too. So we don't always keep them in town. As a matter of fact, there's some druids on the outskirt that generally take care of that, and they'll take the owlbears out of town if that happens. So,
Oh, I didn't realize you had owlbears this far north.
oh, she said, of course. Said, yeah, the owlbears thrive out here.
I'll just shoot Henri a glance, like an excited glance at
Yeah,
the
like
mention of owlbears.
owlbears. I've never seen an owlbear.
Oh yeah.
She said, they're kind of all over. She said you could definitely, she said, listen, owlbears are not generally pets and not generally safe. She said, so I wouldn't, if you do see one, you shouldn't go trying to feed it or anything. That would be a very bad decision. But if you see them pulling sleds, then that means that they've had druids or maybe even other trainers semi domesticate them, and they can be incredibly useful. But yeah, they're dangerous.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll take what do you have in the way of food? We'll take two of whatever the special is.
Yeah, so the menu does have it's pretty limited. It has something called a salt cream and egg, like that's their special, which is salt cream in the Icewind Dale is cheese, and the eggs are very very large eggs. They don't look like chicken eggs because you see other people like eating them. They like one egg takes up the entire plate, and there is some cream. There is some cheese that goes along with that. So it's basically just eggs and cheese. For extra money, you can get bread. The bread is actually a sweet bread. It's made with honey and some other spices, and it's always served like really warm, and it's got a slight texture of like cornbread, so it crumbles away. But it's a breakfast bread, and it's pretty decent.
Absolutely getting that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's half a gold for the eggs and a full gold for everything.
May I ask what the eggs are from?
Owlbear.
She says, "Well, she says to be honest, she said that's a trade secret that we actually keep close to our vest." She said, "Don't worry, it's nothing strange or anything. It's just that we have a farm that's basically off in the tundra close to here, and we don't tell anyone what the eggs are from, just because we don't want other taverns to go through and start using what we're using." But they're delicious, and I promise you, it's no like intelligent creature or anything like that. It's nothing nefarious. It's just a trade secret that we have.
Do I believe her?
Yeah, no, make an insight check, of course. Yeah, make an insight check.
I'm gonna say, can I take a guess?
Sure, you can take a guess. I won't be able to tell you yes or no. I mean, it's not my
19?
establishment. Yeah, so it does look like she's not trying to lie to you. It looks like she's probably telling you the truth.
You know what I'm looking for.
Yep. I know what
Yeah.
you're looking for too. Is it owlbear?
All right.
I know you can't tell me, but that's my guess.
Yeah, she just says I can't really tell you, but you can make an insight check on that to see.
Okay. Yeah, because my insight is 14.
So it seems like she is being extra careful to not let the secret go through, so you're not exactly sure, but she does seem to be telling you the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. We'll take 2 eggs and salt creams and some sweet bread.
Yep.
And
Do you think we should bring
No.
enough back for everybody?
I mean, cold. No one wants cold eggs. We can come down later.
We can heat it back up.
She said, "So where are you guys off to, by the way? Which town are you headed to?"
We're probably.
That's a good question.
For now, we're probably gonna stay in this town.
Well, Brent Chinder, she said, "Well, she said, just so you know, like, if you do go to Good Mead, that's still a good 6 hours off, and with the travel these days, maybe 10. She said East Haven is around, at
East
least
Haven.
7.5 hours.
East
East Haven
East
is a
Haven.
real town, canon town, yeah. East Haven is
Yep.
canon. Um,
Where's West
uh,
Haven?
but by the way, Abel, Meta, just real quick, did you guys start in Bryn Shander? Or Bryn Shander?
I thought so.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Not everyone starts here, so that's why I was.
That's where we were aiming for. That's why I was looking for a river near, or a body of water near.
No, I mean in your other campaign. Sorry, I meant in your other campaign. Did you start? In Bryn Shander?
I don't think we did.
Okay, because the only thing that I think may overlap in this whole campaign, because and I didn't even have to do it. It's just that I changed it essentially. Is the serial killer? And did you remember a serial killer? Does that like ring a bell?
Nope.
Okay, cool. That's good.
We've been in 2 largely empty towns so far.
Okay, cool. No, that's perfect. So this will be very
At
different.
least
It's because the serial killer got to them first.
Oh, that's great. That's actually better. So that's good because that's the only thing that you would have to drag through is there's 3 starting quests. Like there's actually like 25 starting quests, but there's 3 that I don't want to fuck with because they're all part of a canon story that does not just revolve around this module. And the serial killer is a pretty big canon one, so that's why. But that's great. That's good. So anyway, cool. All right. So, all right. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
Uh,
of course, now there's a serial killer that character has to keep his eye over his shoulder for now. That's
Yeah.
Chris.
You'll be walking around at night and you'll just hear snow crunching behind you.
maybe
Yeah.
you will be the serial killer. Maybe
He's
your
a
character-
And so, yeah.
Yeah, but if we bring the food back to them, I can warm it up.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We could do that. Yeah. Let's get it on the after we eat then. We'll get it on the way out. And I'll take an ale or something.
Yep.
Do you have any milk?
We can. So you ask the
Yes.
dwarven if she has milk. She says we do. It's kind of expensive up here because we have to be careful with the milk because not only does it freeze, but when it freezes and we throw it out, it becomes spoiled. She said, unfortunately, it's 3 gold for a gallon, but we do have milk. We have cow's milk and goat's milk.
Which one would you recommend?
She said I prefer cow's milk, but he said goat's milk some people really love. So it's the same price though.
I'll take a gallon, and I'll hand over 3.
Okay. Yep.
She's gonna walk around drinking a gallon of milk.
Chug,
Yep.
chug, chug.
She does give it. She gives it to you in a pretty sturdy glass container. It's thick glass. It's heavy. It's heavy because of the glass is so thick. But yeah, she gives it to you.
Oh my god, I'm not
Just
gonna be
be
able to lift it.
That's
Just be happy
awesome.
it's not bear milk.
I can't, we bought a gallon of milk for 3 gold.
Do you want some?
No,
Yeah, it's expensive. It's very expensive for milk. Like insanely expensive for milk. Yeah.
As she agrees to buy this, I'm just gonna look around the bar. Is anyone giving us weird looks?
The only people that are even looking at you are those dwarves. The other people are pretty interested in their own conversations, and you can also tell that for the most part, people do seem to be keeping to themselves. That might be something that's just taught or people figure out quickly, because everyone is being kind of respectful to. It's like everyone's trying to not basically like. Attract attention, except for these dwarves who are being overly obnoxious and being incredibly loud. The dwarves don't care. They very apparently don't care. And you can tell they're miners. You've already overheard a couple of conversations where they're definitely mining something.
Okay. After we put in our orders for breakfast, I will say, well, I know you're short on ale, but would I be able to just get four mugs just to bring up? I just want to talk to I'll head nod over to the minor party very very subtly.
Yeah, you're asking to go talk to the dwarf. Sorry, say that one more time. It cut out.
I'll just go. I'll ask for 4 mugs of ale.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
To bring over to the dwarves and.
Now remember, there's 14 dwarves in different things. Are you trying to target a specific table?
I was going to.
He was going for the people who were staring at us.
I'm sorry. So yeah, there's like a whole table. There's 6 people on that table. So you would know that. So if you want to do 6, that's fine. But there are 6 people in the one table that are kind of like they're kind of like basically giving you very harsh looks in the sense that they're trying to figure out who the 2 of you are and why you're around because they haven't seen you before. It's not necessarily that they're trying to jump you. You can tell this by looking at them. Like they don't seem like they're the kind of people that would jump you afterwards or whatever. They're just kind of like trying to figure things out, but they're also not just nice. They're just rough people. They're not very nice. So
I'll make that 6 mugs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go introduce myself.
Yep.
Please be careful.
Yeah, she says okay. She says absolutely. So she does that. They walk over. You can see her walk over with a tray. She hands all of them cups. They all raise their cup, and one of the dwarves, the guy seems like he's made the most noise. He actually points at you specifically. He says, come on over here."
All right, I'll stand up, Henri. I'll be right back.
Please be careful.
If I go unconscious, please save me. I'll walk over and I'll smile and I'll pull up a chair.
I'll lay on hands. Don't worry.
What?
Yeah, this table here.
That's my thing. You can't take my thing.
Yeah.
Listen, you took spellcasting.
I did, and I'll pull up at one of the empty corners of the table and I'll just go. Hey, yeah, I couldn't help but notice you seem like a pretty capable bunch. I'm not used to this cold weather, this cold climate. You seem to all have a pretty suitable piece of kit there with all that all that outfit there. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, he said, yeah, we're mining. Don't even ask us for what, but yeah, we're here mining. We have a contract, and we've been here for a couple months. But what are you doing here? Who's that little girl you're with?
Oh, she's actually
When
one of
he
my
says this
employers.
loud, by the way, when he says this loud, everyone tends to like look at him. It's and by the way, with even just passive insight, it would be pretty obvious to you now that you've like started to place two and two together. It's kind of it's probably a big deal for people to ask personal questions about other people, considering that it's basically understood that that's kind of like a hands off kind of thing. Like if you're here, you should just shut up and deal with it kind of thing and not ask a bunch of personal questions, because it's very probable that a lot of people in this bar don't want personal questions asked about them. And the reason why you can put that all together is because that's shocking to some people going through it, and they all start staring. So you know, you have lots of people kind of looking over your shoulder, over their shoulder, looking at you guys. But anyway, go ahead.
I will talk just a little bit quieter than he is, so I'm
Yep.
going to see if he matches my volume. Well, she's one of my employers. But I just wanted to know, I wanted to get to know Ten Towns a little bit. Uh, if we were going to go out, past the edge of town, would I be able, where would I be able to pick up a fine piece of equipment such as this coat?
Oh, he says that the stuff that we're wearing. He said, "Well, you're not a dwarf, number one, and this came from our stronghold. So good luck with that."
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's fair enough. I didn't know if a local tailor or something, or someone that deals in furs. I'm.
He said, "By the way, friend," he said, "one thing that we're asking everyone: have you seen a bunch of people that kind of look like us, maybe?" But and he takes off the portion that covers his face, but he also takes off his hat. He said, "See," he said, "look at me. I have pale skin like the moon, but have you seen any people that look like me but have blacky skin or darky skin like
Oh
me?"
no. uh.
Yeah.
No.
He said, "Well, if you do, you come see us. We'll get them."
Why?
And
Why?
he winks to you.
Why? Why are you looking for people with different color skin than you?
Because they're here to steal from us. That's why. So you find them, and you let us know immediately. Now, what one of the things that you realize is that any dwarf with darker skin is probably Drugar. It's probably the Dugar. It's so he's specifically asking you if you've seen any under mountain dwarves, essentially. So you would know this because you've already encountered.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the ones that can turn invisible or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
this dwarf doesn't care about racial things or anything, so he's
Yeah.
But, yep.
Well, I'll keep an eye out.
He said they're evil, just so you know. So you
So
let us know.
where
They
are you
eat
trying to
children.
take?
They
Yes.
eat children. And they steal from women, and they at night they'll hide under your bed, and they'll literally eat your insides. So I'm telling you, you better tell us if you see them.
You'll be if I see uh evil dwarves that don't look like you, they look like the opposite of you. I'll come and find you. Um, and what are they trying to steal?
Those demons are trying to steal what's rightfully ours, number one. And number two, they're probably trying to steal babies to eat and whatever else those foul creatures do. But they make pact with demons. That's why their skin's the way it is. They're pure evil.
Yeah. What demons did they make pacts with?
I don't know. He says, "I don't even know." He said, I'm not a sage in any of this stuff, but and he looks over at his group. He says, "Which demons? Asmodeus?" And the one of the guys takes off his stuff, and he's like, "That's right. It's Asmodeus and all those devilkin. They made a deal with the devilkin."
Ugh.
You can insight
Yes.
this. You can insight this, but even with passive insight, these guys just probably don't know what they're talking about necessarily. They probably have some kind of either prejudice or whatever just to like say these things. So
Yeah, 17 on insight.
yeah, you can definitely tell that they are not the most informed dwarves. The one thing that you know about Drugar is, unfortunately, Drugar do have a reputation of being evil. Um, they grew up in the Underdark. Uh, they have hard lives in the Underdark, and for the most part, they earned their reputation. These guys were the guys that would basically do the worst out of the slaving, but they were also the same empire that ended up doing some pretty heinous things. So I mean, it's not like their reputation isn't deserved. At the same time, as you know, not all Drow are evil. Not all not all orcs are evil, and orcs used to have the same reputation, especially of things like eating children and stuff. So, so this you would all know this, Kino.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, especially about the drow.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good to know. I'll keep an eye out. And anything else I should know? As someone that just recently rolled into town, anything about 10 towns?
He said I've heard some rumors, but I mean, you don't really look like you could do anything about them. Maybe maybe your employer over there. She looks like she's got some kind of capable like magic stuff going.
Uh, yes. Well, I can always relay the information to, any friends I might have that are more capable than myself.
He said, "Well, he said he said, well, you tell me why should we go through and tell you all the stuff that we've like give me a reason why." I'm not asking you to pay me, friend. You tell me why I should tell you anything. By the way, you can already tell that. I mean, it's 8:30 in the morning, and they're all drinking still. So you don't know how long they've been drinking or any of that, but it's quite possible they're not fully there.
Well, honestly, I have more employers coming to town quite soon, and I can't, obviously I can't reveal anything about them because I am under a binding contract, but I'm sure that if you were to tell me and I would tell them, maybe we could look into doing something.
He said, "Well,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead."
Also, like when they said, you're like the girl seems
Oh
capable.
yeah,
She's just
and
gonna
it's
look over and like wave if she can hear him.
yeah. I mean, if you would totally hear that, and if you want, you can even walk over at this point. But yes,
Nope.
yeah, he's not really like he doesn't care. It's very clear. He's
No, I just wave and then I turn back. I'm like making small talk with the barmaid as I'm just like kicking my legs.
gotcha. Yeah.
His legs don't hit the floor.
Yeah, no,
She's
that's
on the
exactly.
stool.
My legs do not hit the floor, so I'm swinging them.
Nice.
Drinking out of a
Yeah.
gallon of milk at the bar.
All right.
Do they have straws?
No, no, this place doesn't have straws.
They're actually banned. They're all paper. All paper straws.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to force you to tell me anything. I just thought I'd get you capable bunch of drink and introduce myself to a seemingly pretty friendly band of, you know, uh, miners and somewhat frontiersmen. It looks like, who brave the elements, and figured I'd share a drink with.
He said, "Well," he said, "I don't know." He said, "Oh, what do you think, guys?" And he goes to basically, he's like, "Should we tell him like at least some of the rumors we've heard?" And they just grumble to themselves.
I also have heard about the sacrifices, so if you're going to tell me about the sacrifices, you're a day late and a dollar short.
He said, "Yeah." He said, "That's another thing about this great town. It's like it's very very forward thinking, isn't it? They really think that sacrificing innocent people, having them freeze to death, is going to make this frost goddess do anything. It's pretty sad, I think. But
Yeah, I mean, I heard that they're doing like a similar, like, with the whole like torturing people and trying to, like, you know inflict pain on people. I heard they're doing like even like shit like that as far south as like Luskin. They're apparently like saying, even though it's like obviously it's way way warmer and not as bitter. Uh, they're doing it there. It's like a theme. I don't know why.
We've been here for a long time, so we didn't even know that. But that's weird. That's really weird. Said I don't really know why that would be the case, but it's these worshippers of Aurora are messed up anyway. They're all like kind of evil, and you know what they're like? They're like those Drugar. They're just like that. Maybe they worship Asmodeus as well.
Maybe. God help anyone that worships a devil.
That's right. Those devil worshipping awful Drugar. He starts muttering under his breath.
It's
And goes
like
through it.
racist clackety clack.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
this dwarf's gonna jump on my head.
Yeah.
But anyway, was that what you were going to tell me about the sacrifices, or was it going to be something different?
He said, "Nah. I mean, there's been some rumors around. We certainly have some rumors, but you still haven't given me a good reason why. You. I mean, friend, I don't mean to. Really don't mean to disrespect you and your friend, but quite honestly, I don't think you could do anything about these rumors anyway, even if we told him."
I'll pick up the mug from his hand with mage hand.
He looks back. He's like, "What?" He's like, Are you one of those devils in disguise?
No,
What is this?"
drop it.
Yeah.
I'm just well read, just like the girl at the bar.
By the way, if Anu hears Kino cast a spell and make them freak out, she's gonna start busting out laughing.
Yeah. So immediately at this place, by the way, as this happens, a light goes on the fish, and he goes, "There's a place I'd like to go, farther up on the river flow. Where it is, I do not know. But under all that's new." And as it happens, the bar starts erupting. Everybody starts laughing and going through it. And all the dwarves are like, "Oh, that damned fish." They don't like this at all. Everyone else loves it. The dwarves hate this thing, clearly. But yeah.
So what about now?
He said, I don't know. I've been giving you a lot of information, friend, and now you've got this devil hand that's just able to take things from me. He said, maybe though. I mean, clearly you've got something going on though. Yeah, he's looking around and thinking about it, going back and forth. He's like, how do I know you're a good person?
Well, I mean, when's the last time a bad person's ever bought you a drink?
He said, yeah. He said, that's right. I guess that's good enough. He said, he said, he said, all right. He said, I'll tell you something. He said, in East Haven, they caught an evil wizard who killed some adventurers. And the town militia, they're going to burn that guy. I hear the captain of the guard is looking for adventurers to help in another task that may or may not be related to that. They asked us to help. We just laughed at him. It's like, we don't care about your stupid wizard or any of that stuff. But, there's... Yeah.
How is he evil?
So we don't even know. This is he was telling us this. We're not sure. There's also some weird black charred cabin out in the middle of nowhere. No one knows anything about. Although I heard that I actually heard that there's a person that lives upstairs or something, some little rock gnome that was crying about it. And he's probably sleeping or whatever, but he even lives here or the other tavern. We don't know how this weird sister tavern thing works. The owners told us all about how I have to have two taverns because one of them doesn't have like rooms or whatever. Who has ever heard of someone who built two taverns, one for food and one for just people staying? It sounds ridiculous to us, but
I mean, it could be for tax purposes.
So that he says, "Oh, do they even have taxes up here? Like people just do what they want?" I don't even know, but you know what else? You know what else? There's a rumor about some dreaded white moose. It attacks loggers and trappers on sight, and I heard the town's best hunters can't even kill the beast. So you never know about that. And there's also something going on in Targus. There's a band of adventurers planning on an expedition up the side of Kelvin's Cairn. They asked us to help with that too, to like basically be trackers. What? Because we're gnomes. Like everyone thinks we can do that because we're gnome. I mean, we're dwarves, and everyone's saying, "Hey, dwarf, can you help me? Because if there's a mountain involved, give me a break." Anyway, they're hoping to find. Omenarch. It's like this Goliath, but he like can transform into a polar bear. And anyway, I guess you could go help him with that. But that was a strange one. This whole place is strange. Now here's one that you might be able to help us with. In Tourmaline, that speaker Matthew, he closed our gym mine. So currently now we need to pay extra to get in and have like basically we have to have like the town's guards escort us because they're all afraid we're gonna get wiped out, which is ridiculous. We eat these things for dinner, but there is a gang of kobolds in there. So that's hurt our business a little bit. And if you want to help us go kill some kobolds, then we could dearly deal with that. But there's other stuff going on. I bet if you talk to other people, there's more going on in the town than that. But that's the stuff that we know about. But listen. The one thing I will say, if you find those devil dwarf Drugar in that black cabin thing, you let us know right away, because that black cabin sounds like an Asmodeus kind of little like shelter thing. Like who knows what they do in there. So you let me know if you go to that charred black cabin and there's
Absolutely.
some Drugar in there.
You'll be the first one I go to. Yes, just so I understood, you said Kelvis Tarn. What was before you?
No. He said Kelvin's Cairn. So it's like a mountain thing. It's hard to explain. I don't know do you guys have a map of the area? Because we had to buy one for 5 gold. But you can either buy it at Town Hall, which is it's basically right off. If you go to the tavern where people can actually stay, we're staying there too, by the way. If you go to that one. And you go right across the street, you can find the town hall, and maybe somebody there will have another map for you. We can't give you ours. But...
They said that the dwarves are staying at the town hall.
No. The dwarves are staying at the same place that you guys are staying at, which is one of the only inns. Yeah. And it's Kelvin's Cairn.
Kelvin's Cairn. All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And they said they were looking for a Goliath that can turn into a polar bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
he did see the other thing. He said, "Listen, the other thing, there was an expedition before us. An entire shipment of gems went missing. We don't know what happened. That's why it's why we're here, because the entire mining all of them went missing. We think it's those awful Drugar that did it. I'm pretty sure. But if you find any like mention of those dwarves or of the gems, you definitely let me know about the gems. The other guys, whatever. But the gems, you find those gems, you let me know. Oh, there's also some kind of monster in the Mare Dolden. Someone told me that there's a giant sea monster in the Mare Dolden. I don't know if that's true.
A sea monster in the Mare Dolden. And you end the conversation with the sea monster.
Yes,
So
I don't know.
Is Mare Dolden the lake?
Yeah, the large
then
lake.
It's not
that's
a sea
right.
monster.
It's a lake.
Well, I said whatever semantics. Lake monster, sea monster, some kind of big monster. We've never seen it. If it's there and it eats you,
that wasn't in character.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Sorry.
It would technically be a lake monster, but he said sea monster, so.
Yeah, that's the safe place Abel wanted to land us for a teleport.
That is right. The Mare Dolden was that. Yep.
Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. What? By the way, so the group of adventurers, the seemingly adventurers, the ones that had different things, they overheard this, and they actually do come up to you and afterwards when you start walking off, and they said, "Hey, we're actually going to Lonelywood because supposedly there was one of the speakers there was killed by a giant. So if we find anything, we'll let you know. But are you an adventurer?
Does anyone even adventure anymore? We're just kind of, people that.
Well, we're hired. I mean, we're hired by guild, so that's. I mean, do you guys do that kind of thing, or?
I mean, depends on how much. Maybe we'll talk business if the chance arises.
Is it no? Well, whatever. Well, because we're off. They're getting their stuff ready. They said, but we saw what you did, so if you want to come with us, that's totally fine. We have room for
Unfortunately,
one more. We could split the profits.
I wish I could, but I'm needed in town at the moment.
Yeah. Kino, you can tell these guys are considerably underneath your power level. Like, they're not as powerful as your group. They're not even close. They're starting out.
Yeah, I figured
They
as
don't
much.
look like they have any magic items on them at all. Only one of them has half plate, so they don't even have a ton of money. Don't look like they're super equipped for this kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
And just so I'm clear, this isn't the dwarves anymore. This is the adventuring party.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the adventuring party that's doing this. Yes. They asked if you wanted to come along as an extra member.
Um. Yeah. I wish I could, but my services are needed in town. I mean,
It's because they saw you do mage hand, by the way.
yeah. Unfortunately, mostly party tricks. But I mean, might I ask? You were hired by guild?
He said, "Yep."
Uh,
Sorry, it just really makes me laugh when it's like, so you were questioned and you're expecting a longer answer, and it's like, yep, no further explanation.
I don't ask any questions, but I need answers. I have no mouth and I must scream. And I'll just stand up. I'm talking to the guy in half plate.
Yeah. This is the guy with the giant axe. Yep. Said, yeah. So where we're going, by the way, and he mentions it again. He's like, in Goodmead, the town speaker was killed by a 9-foot tall giant. So, so the giant also stole like a shipment of honey mead and made a mess of everything. So, long story short, we're going up and seeing what we can do to help with this giant situation.
Well, I'm glad to know that if I find myself in Goodmead, I will. I'll know that there's some friendly faces.
Yeah. Yeah. Goodmead was one of the places she mentioned. It's at least 10 hours walking. And it's hard. It's hard. It's a hard 10 hours.
We're gonna find
Yeah.
him just outside of town, just frozen to death.
Yeah.
You're gonna find
He asks you before he leaves, like, by the way, have you guys traveled much around the 10 towns?
We're pretty new. We usually don't head up this north.
Yeah. He said, good luck. Try not to freeze to death. It's pretty bad. The overworld travel is pretty bad out there. So.
You too, be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be careful.
Yeah.
And I'll sort of stand back up and turn to the dwarves and say, gentlemen, it was a pleasure. I'll leave you to your breakfast and, safe travels and good luck with those nasty Asmodeus worshippers and finding those gems.
He said, yep, and you keep your eyes out for those tricky dwarves.
My eyes are always lit up, and I'll turn around and I'll walk back to the bar.
Yeah.
And I'll sit down next to Henri. Whew.
Welcome back.
Oh boy. Yes. All right. So, how's the milk?
Delicious. Do you want some?
I'm all right. I hold up my I took about 2 sips of this ale, so I'm gonna finish it. They yeah, you heard most of that, right?
The female, the older female dwarf, when you start sitting down, she actually does come up to you guys and she says, he wasn't lying about the rock gnome that actually lives above. So that if you guys do decide to do anything about that, Cooper's always looking for people to try to help him. I don't know the whole story. I don't know why he's so obsessed with that black cabin, but if you do seem like capable people, and if you are interested, I will let Cooper know that there's some people that might be willing to at least hear him out. So,
I'm interested.
Absolutely.
yeah. He said, "Okay, yeah, I'll definitely let him know. When he wakes up, I'll have him look for you."
Yes. We'll we'll be happy to help if we can.
She goes back to doing what she was doing. Yeah.
Is the food ready by now?
Yeah, so she's it seems like it's close. She's actually going in the back to busy some stuff up. She just hasn't come out with the food yet.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just sipping my milk. I'm making it taste like chocolate.
What?
Prestidigitation.
Oh,
Yep.
Yep.
you're chocolating the milk?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very fancy.
That's.
So
I was
that's-
hoping that you'd ask to have some and you'd drink it and you'd be like, "Why the fuck does this taste like chocolate?"
I wish I knew. I would definitely take a sip of the first D&D character to ever canonically drink chocolate milk that I've played.
Uh. I feel like she would have said something to you. She would have been
Yeah,
like,
sure, I'll take it.
"I'm."
Pass,
It's-
You can
pass
say
the
something.
bottle.
Yeah. It's chocolate milk.
What?
And
I'll
I'm gonna.
take a sip.
Yeah. So I'm currently making it taste like chocolate milk.
You can make a lot of money with that.
I could. I mean, I'd have to stop adventuring though, and I doubt you'd want that.
Yes, I'd be in pretty bad shape if we were to lose another. So
I mean, I did just get the
It's
spell
always
I
good to have
wanted
a
though,
father.
so I could retire and just make yummy chocolatey milk.
And then turn into shit.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a fallback, I guess.
There's low-level bards making whole careers on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity for employment around here. And good meat and all over.
Yeah, so she does come back at this point and she brings you guys your eggs and she also like has packaged things up so that you can bring it. You did get this for the group though?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
What's
she
the?
packaged it up in parchment paper and tied them all together so that you guys can bring all this stuff back.
Thank you very much.
What's the total for that? How many of them get?
So it's 3 gold per, so it'd be 12 gold for all of it. I mean, sorry, no, I'm sorry. It's only 1 gold per. You did not get the milk for everybody, right? Just yourself.
Well, no, but it was
Yeah, no,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
one milk, a meal for everyone, and one,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5.
So it's
eggs.
6 gold. So it's if you got the sweetbread, it's 6 gold. It's a full gold for the whole meal for each person. So for everyone, it'd be. Am I wrong? Is it we have 7 right now or
No,
6?
6. We haven't
That's what I
met V
thought.
yet.
Yeah. So right. So 6 gold, and then the 3 gold for the milk.
Okay, so
9.
9
And then
gold.
also
I'll place 10
Kino
gold on
got
the
the
counter.
ale for the table.
Oh yeah, how much was
Oh,
it? 5 ales.
the L for the table is actually cheap. So 5 L is still half a gold. It's actually
Right.
far less. Yeah. It's so each ale is the equivalent of like it's only half a gold for 5 essentially or 6. It's a little more than that. So but just say half a gold to make it easy.
Okay,
So 50 silver. Yeah.
and yeah, I will. So that is 9 gold, 5 silver. I will leave. I will leave 10 gold and get the change and leave a gold for a tip.
Cool.
A gold piece.
I
Okay.
also will leave a gold.
Okay, yeah. So she thanks. By the way, she can see it, and she thanks you guys profusely for it. She said, "This is great. Thank you so much."
Well, we appreciate such fine
Yep.
service, and sorry if we made a little bit of a scene back there.
No, it's those dwarfs. You guys didn't do anything. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll see you around. I didn't catch your name, by the way. If I mean, you don't have to tell me if
She,
you don't want to.
no, she said it. No, it's okay. My name's Hilda. Her name's Hilda.
Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you, Hilda.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything. I definitely would have finished the milk before leaving, though, because that was the
You
most
finished
expensive.
a gallon of milk?
I'm not fucking leaving a single drop of 3 gold piece milk.
You can. There's a top on it. You're doing the milk gallon challenge. You're gonna make yourself sick.
What is it? A plastic gallon? You think it's got a top on it? No, it's in a glass.
It got a cork, maybe.
It's in a glass, like a mug.
Oh my god. You're drinking. You're drinking a gallon of milk for breakfast, Henri.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I have to put some meat on these bones.
Well, sure. Just. Oh, let me know if you feel sick.
Okay.
Drink a gallon of milk. What the hell?
Just
It's
imagine
like
the mug
8:30
that
in
I
the morning.
had.
That's like the most impressive thing you've done, honestly.
Really?
I mean,
That's the most impressive thing I've done.
well, no, but
It's pretty
a
impressive.
gallon of
though.
milk. A gallon of milk.
It was
is-
really good milk, though. It tasted like chocolate.
That's fair. Yeah. So where do you want to go? We got the whole town now.
Well, first I want to drop off the food.
Oh yes, good call. I'll swing by the room with Henri.
Yes. And I am also, and I'll clarify this for everybody else, I'm handing out the rest of the owlbear treats. I'm going to have, I think, one left over, but I'm going to give Grin, Johnny, I think I never, no, I did give one to Grin. It was Abel that I never gave one to, Johnny and Brother.
I think I had one from somebody.
It might have been, I might have ended up giving it to you, but I thought that you got distracted because you were listening to a conversation. I was like, okay, well, I'll just wait. And then, like, a lot of stuff happened.
Yep.
So everybody that I didn't give one to, I gave one to.
Okay.
And I warm everything up, and then I'm like,
Yep.
so, I mean, we can go... We got a lot of information. We can go talk to that dwarf, or it was a gnome, I think, a rock gnome?
Rock gnome. It's a rock gnome.
Named Cooper?
Yes.
Copper. Yep.
Copper.
We can go talk to them, we can go see who the... We can go get a map. That might be important.
That's a good idea. We should go get a map from the town hall for 5 gold.
Maybe a few maps. Just in case something
Yeah.
happens to one.
Yeah, sure. We'll get 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So
Maybe
as
we
you guys start to walk out, yep.
Maybe we can buy a few and bring them back to Neverwinter and sell them to the
Yep.
library. Because they didn't have any.
Yeah.
Yep. So as you guys walk out, you realize that this must be the building that he's thinking of for the town hall. Let me go through and make this a little lighter for you guys. But within it, when you do you guys want to go inside?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So as you let me open the door. It's sadly not opening though. Hold on. What? Hold on 1 second, guys.
The game doesn't want us in. We heard
Yeah.
what you did. Stay out.
We'll just do this one. It's fine. So you guys go around and open the door and go through it. And there's like a desk here. There's some provisions for what looks like adventurers and other things. This is, by the way, very informal. You notice that if this is the town hall, it's like very, very informal. It almost looks like a makeshift restaurant or whatever. But behind it is in the man that you saw before. He's got dark skin, but he definitely looks like he's a capable maybe fighter or something. You're not exactly sure. He's like a martial warrior. He's the guy that said that he was sheriff before, and he's sitting next to the desk, and he says, "Oh, you guys want a map of Icewind Dale?" He said, "Unfortunately, they're scarce." He said, "and expensive, but I can totally rustle one up for capable people such as yourself." And he goes in the back to try to find one. He says, "Look, I only have 3. These are the last ones we have. They're gonna unfortunately have to go for 10 gold apiece. The money does go back to the village, though, so know that it's not getting wasted." Yeah.
We'll take 2. We'll leave 1 for whoever else needs.
And you said very good, and he does give you a map. So now that you guys have the blank map, you can now like write on it. What he does for you though is he does mark it. So let me get in there real quick so I can mark it for you.
I forgot about that. Let me go in there.
Yeah.
I wonder if the dragon's still there. Is it?
Everything should be there. Yeah. Yeah. So let me go back to that link. Hold on one second. I need to pull it up anyway myself. So hold on. Let's see.
Wait, the dragon? What?
She drew a dragon. Yeah.
You saw the dragon.
No, I just. Oh boy, I forgot you drew that.
Oh my god, where am
I have to find it too. Here we go. Constable.
I don't know where I am. It's just blank.
Oh, maybe. Hold on, let me get into it too. Let me see. It should save though. It should definitely save. Let's just make sure though.
I'm home now. I'm all yours.
What was that, Abel?
He's home now.
I'm home.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, at this point you can be finished with what you were doing, and it is a ring of spell storing, by the way.
That's what, third one?
Oh yeah, I do have to give you. Hold on. Hold on. The ring can store up to 5 levels, up to a 5-level spell, one at a time.
Yeah, for some reason.
Oh,
like,
actually, no, I'm wrong. I'm actually wrong. Hold on, let me get you the exact thing. That's wrong, though. The ring can store up to 5 levels worth of spells at a time. When found, it contains 1 stored spell already, but you won't know what that spell is until you've attuned to it. But anyway, any creature can cast a spell of 1st through 5th level into the ring by touching the ring as a spell is cast. The spell has no effect other than to be stored in the ring. If the ring can't hold the spell is expended without the effect. The level of the slot used to cast the spell determines how much space it uses. So that's the thing. While wearing this ring, you can cast any spell stored in it. The spell uses the slot level, spell save DC, spell attack, spell casting ability of the caster.
Okay, I finally I found it. The map was completely saved. I was just like way zoomed out, and I couldn't find the map.
I can't even. It's so silly that I can't find this. Hold on. Let me go back in Discord. I'm sure I can find it there.
If you just go to concept board, it's like you're already in the room. They keep like the boards that you have taken a part of, so you can just go there and go to your boards, and you can go straight there.
Gotcha.
You may have to just kind of mess around with the screen though, which is what I did. I was just completely zoomed out, and I just looked around the board until I actually found the map.
Yep. Thanks. Yeah, I'm getting in there now too. He's gonna mark the map for you where you're at, and then give you some general stuff. So, yep, I've got it now. All right, he's gonna mark where you are. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm in the same thing. You know what's weird though? It says it's zoomed all the way out, and I don't see it either.
Yeah, no.
But
You have to, even though you're zoomed out, you still try going all the way up. and
Yep.
then go to the left and try and find it.
Right, I see. Yep, I see.
Because even though you're zoomed out completely, it's still like you might not be on the part that actually has the map.
Yep. Yep, that is right. So hold on, let's see. Yeah, I see what you mean. So hold on. Let's. I wish there was a better way to do this. Hold on, let's see.
Oh wow, no joke. There is a dragon.
Yeah, you didn't see it
There
last
we
time?
go. There we go.
I
I
did
see.
not.
I see.
It's a pretty cool dragon. I did pretty well on it. And you didn't see it. I see how it is.
I actually found this because Amanda, I could see where her mouse was,
Oh,
but
that's
I
cool.
lost. I lost it
Do
again
you want
now.
me to-
Damn
It
it.
is now
I'll just
completely
move around.
blank for me. I don't
Yeah,
see anyone.
you have to
Yeah,
find it.
I'm in the same thing. It's because it's like it can be zoomed out like crazy too, where the map's only a pixel, unfortunately, and that's where I'm at right now. Okay,
I don't
so
even
yeah,
see anyone in the board.
you can see people in and from up top. I'm hoping that I can find in board. Oh yeah, so
Oh, I see
that's
you.
cool. Yeah, so you know what? Do this. To go up to Amanda's name, find in board, and I
Okay.
think that's how we're going to be able to find this thing. Yep,
I was
that's how
all
I
the
just
way
found
in a
it.
corner. Oh,
Yep,
I like the
I
dragon.
just I just found it
Um,
myself.
I'm so
yeah.
All right,
glad I was able to help.
so he's gonna mark this on the board for you. So hold on one second.
Wait, is
Yeah, you'll be able to see it in a second.
Yeah, sorry. When Henri, when
Oh,
you said you marked the dragon, I thought you drew a picture of the dragon on our map, like our physical map. I was like, I don't remember that happening at all.
okay. So he takes. So this. I don't know if you guys can see this yet, but hold on. There is a blue dot.
technically it's a wyvern.
And that's where you're currently at. And can you guys see my mouse now?
Yes.
Well, let me do this. I'm going to show you my screen. So hold on. You guys can see the screen now, right? Let me know when you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see my screen
Yes.
in the stream. Okay. All right. So he basically he not only does he mark on the map, but he tells you that the other towns are located generally in this vicinity around here along the lake here, but as you go from town to town, have them mark their actual location, and they can figure it out once he's marked Bryn Shadar. So that he doesn't know exactly where the other towns are. He just knows the general directions based on the landmarks. He said, so if you're going to a specific one, he can help you, but other than that, just get to the other towns and they'll mark it on your map there too. And
Okay.
here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this a little nicer for you guys. And we're going to make that. Okay. So this is where Bryn Shadar is. And you'll be able to go through and find these out too. He does mention he's like, oh, by the way, he said this thing here is Kelvin's Cairn. A lot of people use this as a landmark. So it's this giant mound of like snow and ice and maybe a mountain underneath or whatever. He said, just, if somebody mentions that, he said, this is a nice, good landmark. He said, this is, of course, our very large lake that we're right on the cusp of. And he said, you can sometimes use the sea of moving ice as a landmark, but he said, this is, the best way to go through it. So sometimes you can even find other people's maps that have things on it, like they're willing to sell it to you and stuff. But people keep this kind of stuff close to their vest, especially like where the location of mines are and other things.
The fuck?
But other than that, yeah.
Stop moving the
But,
map around.
Yeah. Oh, my thing got here. Let me put it down again. I don't know how, but it got erased. So here we go.
If I'm that I was before,
There we go. That's Kelvin's car. Yeah. And he does mention Kelvin's Karn, so I'll give you guys a smaller one too. Yep, you can write on it. Yeah, there might be a
Yeah.
way to do text too. By the way, oh yeah, there. You know what
There
there
is,
is.
but I
You can,
don't know how. So I need to ask
it's
Tom.
I also like to imagine that Henri is handwriting all of this in with a pencil and holding the chocolate milk in one hand.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It might be better to do it this way anyway, but yeah, yeah, cool.
Which part of this map is everything?
Sorry.
Which part of? Oh, wait. I think I found.
Lee, you're very quiet for me.
Yeah, you're pretty
Oh,
quiet
Tom's
for me
here.
too.
Hi, Tom.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find where everyone is.
Oh, hey Tom.
Just ended, so I figured I'd see what was going on.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we're wrapping up here soon, but yeah.
Well, it's only
Sure.
10.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
You're not allowed to quit on us yet, Chris.
No, I'm fine. So yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you missed, I think Henry's going to have this as a recording anyway, but you just missed some rumors and stuff. So
You missed
We got some
Henri
fun
chugging an entire gallon of goat's milk.
I can't believe she did that. She did the gallon challenge during breakfast just on a whim.
Wait, chocolate goat's milk? It just dawned on me.
and you guys have your map now. They bought the map, so you have your first landmark and where your town is.
Yeah, Lee, it was like a gallon of goat's milk, and then I used prestidigitation to flavor it chocolate.
Or I guess you did flavored with powder.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so quietly. It's weird. It's like
I'm on my working through my phone. I don't know why it's so quiet either.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It might
Yeah.
be that. Or
Just a
do you-
heads up.
Do you have it through speakerphone, maybe?
Oh yeah, you can see my
You
screen,
have,
right?
yeah, the ring of. I was just gonna say you have the ring of spell scrolling up, or spell story.
No worries. Yep, thanks.
Also, Grin, you would have seen us drop off breakfast at the room. It was salt cream, which is like cheese, along with mysterious eggs.
Large mysterious eggs. Yeah.
Large mysterious
Large
eggs.
mysterious eggs.
We're assuming are owlbear eggs, but
Can I tell what kind of eggs they are?
You can make a nature check to try to determine it, but the problem is they're just large chicken-like eggs, and you don't have a shell. You just have the contents, so it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah,
But
I
you
know
can
shit.
totally try. Yep.
No, I don't know shit.
Was
Yeah.
it a 3?
Yeah, they're not chicken because it's too large for it to be chicken.
Wow,
but other
I
than
actually
that,
guessed
yeah.
3, and I can't believe I was right.
It takes me a while, but eventually I realize, oh, those are eggs.
Yeah.
Chris,
They're
I
like
don't.
decoration.
They didn't. I don't know if I have to make a check for this. They didn't seem like dragon eggs, did they? It's a dumb question, but I gotta
No.
ask.
No. Here's the thing. Even if they were, no one would sell you dragon eggs for that price anyway. If they were giving you dragon eggs, we're talking
Yeah.
priceless. Yeah, but
Okay.
no, they couldn't be.
All right.
Even wyvern eggs would be absurdly expensive. So no.
Yeah, I figured I'd ask.
Yep.
In character, I still believed her because of the insight check. I just.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we would have dropped off breakfast. We went to go buy the map. I mean, if Grin stepped out of his book.
Yeah, he would come out of his book.
Yep. Abel did finish repairing the ring, which was a ring of spell storing. You can find it on D&D Beyond 2, Abel. It's a pretty cool item.
Yeah.
How much trouble have Henri and Pino gone into?
Not enough.
So if you guys are back, at some point, well, I guess first let me ask you, after you eat, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to stay inside?
No, we're going out.
Okay.
Well,
All right, is this better?
Yes.
Can I pull
better.
Honor
Much-
aside for a second? I'm just gonna check out that second room, and I'm assuming it's the one next door or across the hall.
Oh, are you? So yes, it's going to be right actually next to you. It's not across the hall. It's literally right next to your room, and the
Okay,
same.
perfect.
Yeah, same side. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check it out for a second.
Hmm?
I'm gonna spin around to
It's
Henri.
smaller though. That's only a room for 2 people. There's only 2 beds, so it is a smaller room.
There was only 2 beds.
Yep, it is small. She gave you the large one, the one where
Okay.
everyone's in right now. Yeah.
This one will be good to have just in case. Just I know that the Modron thing was a little loud, but
Yeah. And
uh,
remember, the dwarves did say they were staying in the same place. So
oh, that's right. The birds are in here somewhere. Oh,
yeah,
great. I'm
yeah,
sure we'll hear them if we
yeah.
keep quiet enough.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bless you. Henri has caught a cold. It's been 12 hours. She already caught a cold.
Yep.
I so yeah. I mean, this is good. And Grin, how was? I'll walk back into the other room, and I'll shut the second door, lock it.
Yep.
Uh,
And by the way, I think I did originally say Cooper. That was a mistake. It is Copper.
it
So
is copper. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
My notes were a frenzy as you were talking.
yeah. I think it was my fault. I'm pretty sure I said Cooper too. So no worries.
And I will, how was? I'll close the door behind us, and walk in. So tell us how you feeling? How's the book? I mean, I got some stories. I'm sure you do.
I'm feeling good. I mean, it's been a while since we've been in our books.
It
Uh,
has.
took
I
some
actually
time, meditated on my, my inner storm. Grin doesn't really know what he's talking about. He's
a
just,
snowstorm.
and where I once pictured a storm at sea, I now picture a sea at
I
storms.
see it
Uh,
storm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know where I
How
was going with that.
profound.
I'm really tired.
That's what I'm calling the session log now.
Went from a storm at sea to a sea at storms.
Love it.
Yeah, no, I thought I went into my book, and where I usually see, a stormy beach, I now see a blizzard.
Ooh, I mean, how fitting.
Um, so I feel great.
That's cool. I
TM.
my book is completely different.
Yeah, how?
I walked in and it was the same, and then I talked and there was something I wanted to branch out a little bit. So I talked
He's
to
a
the
druid
guy.
now.
No, I
Because he branched
She.
out.
She.
she, oh, I still got the disguise on. I still look like a he. Um, and now I stepped out of the book for a second, and then when I stepped back in, I just saw this like these celestial bodies. Chris, I actually forgot the word. I meant to write it down. What did you say it
Orrery.
was?
It's an orrery,
Orrery.
which is a giant, in this case, magical device. Although in the real world, these things exist. They're models of
Like the
planetary
solar
bodies and
system,
solar
yeah.
systems, exactly. But in this case, it's of the planes of Faerun, and
It's
it's very very ornate. It's got gems on it and other things to represent certain bodies. But yeah, it's all of the different planes and basically the magical makeup and circles of Faerun. That's the centerpiece of the entire room. Other than that, it does look like it's like you see like the night sky with a bunch of like astral like bodies above it and everything else with this woman that's teaching him. Go. What were you
And
gonna say?
yeah, so that's what I saw.
Oh, weird.
Grin.
What did you used to see?
Uh, it was kind of an. It wasn't that.
wasn't it
It
like a
was
battlefield?
It was. It was like a
well.
battlefield.
I'm saying that in character.
I would have
Uh,
wanted to see that. Now it sounds like some nerd shit.
well,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
want to see that.
Grin, you probably wouldn't
Yeah.
have liked it. It
He
was
says that
kind of
jokingly.
it was like a never-ending
Story.
battlefield. It was sort of like
Why would
like
Grim
Who-
not
who are
like
you-
that?
Avernus's equivalent of Valhalla.
Who are you battling?
I mean, whoever I wanted to. It's my book.
Well, that sounds
Usually
like
my
fun.
teacher. Usually it was my teacher, and he would absolutely kick the ever-loving shit out of me over and over again until I got better.
That sounds less fun.
Well, I mean, I had to get good, and that's how I got so good.
Scrub.
And yeah, now I mean, I'm sure I can go back there if I wanted to in the future, but I learned some magic. I got magic stuff. I have like this innate force within me.
Good.
Oh, cool. I don't. Grin doesn't really understand what you're saying.
I
He's just trying to be supportive.
I I'll be honest. I only know a little bit. That's fair. I was at the same place with Abel this morning when we
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
He doesn't really understand his own book, so
That's fair. Grin actually doesn't. As, I mean, yeah. Uh,
Grin has a
so yeah,
complicated relationship with books.
yeah.
yeah. When I go into my book, I'm in the middle of a storm.
See, that's kind of like
And
how
I-
mine was. I was in
I
like
meditate
constantly
usually.
like a hellstorm, but it was fun. I mean, it was a lot more fun than I'm describing it. And we were gonna just, you, me, and Henri can, check out town. We heard about some of the other towns. We heard about Copper, this rock gnome. Apparently, he's looking for like this blackened shed in the middle of nowhere.
Which sounds fucking awesome. Out of character.
It sounds so metal.
Mhm.
I say in character.
I've heard of copper. It is metal.
Yeah, and then we
I-
met with the sheriff, also a copper.
And
Disadvantage.
What?
yeah, no, I mean she's not wrong. There was also another adventuring group that like tried to recruit me to go to
He's wrong.
Goodmead.
In your book?
No,
Oh
in
no,
the
this
tavern
was at breakfast.
when we were getting
Oh.
breakfast.
We talked to some of these like really drunken dwarves. It looked like we caught them at the end of like an all-nighter, and they were quite loud. People in this town really don't like when you ask personal questions and like get like weird and questiony. So keep that in mind going forward.
I will do. I don't tend to ask people questions.
That's that's good. That's good.
Typically, I
And-
forget that's an option.
Yeah.
You usually don't know what they're talking about anyway.
Also, that yeah.
Also, there, Omenarch, a were-polar bear man
Or a druid.
or druid.
Wow.
Could be both.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Uh, they were out in the middle of nowhere. They were, the dwarves were ranting about them. So interesting.
guys,
There's also a sea monster in the the lake right there.
But if
So
it's
it's a
in the
lake
lake, it's not a
monster.
sea monster.
Mayor
The lake
Golden.
monster.
It's
Mare
a Loch
Golden.
monster. Loch Ness monster.
Then we
Yes.
need the key.
The key to the lake?
Yeah, the key to the lock.
No.
So you guys hear a knock on your door.
I go
It's a
back into my
soft.
book.
It's like a soft like rapping knock, but it's a knock nonetheless, and you can hear it.
As someone gently tapping at the chamber door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god, is it gonna be eyes?
Yeah, it sounds like a woodpecker.
Unfortunately,
Oh, because he's the raven. Never
unfortunately,
mind.
I think he's coming back nevermore.
Oh, there we go. Full circle. And
And
did
see.
I get that?
And disadvantage.
Oh boy. Hold on. Everyone, put. Oh god, Abel's right here. Does he have his whole? Where's Abel? Does he have his whole setup out?
He does.
All right.
All right.
Nothing you can do about it either.
Doing
It's
like
too
final
big.
report and
Is
testing,
there
right?
is there an eye like a peephole in the door?
There is. Yep. There's a small. It's basically small. Yeah, you do, but you see nothing.
Oh, this.
But the tapping is you can hear the tapping very clearly, and it's further down on the ground. It's like 3 feet up, maybe 2.5 feet up.
And Henri's in the room.
Yes.
Yeah, Henri's in the room.
Boundary out. I'm gonna open the door like
Yeah.
just a little bit, and I'm going to block the rest of the
Sure.
room with my body.
So you see like a 3-foot tall person in what looks like a very fuzzy suit that they've clearly made themselves because they're stitching and other thing all over it. Clearly not a skilled like a skilled leather work or anything. It's unfortunately made him look kind of like a fuzzy teddy bear, and it's like it's this very small person, and he says, I heard that you might want to help. I'm Copper Knobberknocker. That's the canon name, by the way.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Copper
That is
Knobberknocker?
canon name.
Favorite. It's my
Yep.
favorite NPC.
I'm Copper Knobberknocker, and I heard that you guys can maybe help me.
Your name is Copper?
Copper Knobberknocker.
Your name is Copper Knobberknocker.
Yes, that's my name, Copper Knobberknocker.
Is that a
What?
family name?
He said it is an old family name, the Knobberknockers. He said we're very, very smart. We're brilliant, actually, and I come from a long line of Knobberknockers. You know what a Knobberknocker is?
I can take a guess.
He takes his hood off, and you can tell he is a rock gnome. By the way, he says a Knobberknocker is something that people use on the fronts of their door, and when people get close to it, it knocks for it automatically. We invented those.
Oh,
My whole family. Yeah.
You named yourself after your invention?
He said, actually, we named the invention after our family name.
so where
So
did your
you've-
name come from before the invention?
He said, I don't know, to be honest. We invented that a long time ago.
You invented the device to make your name make sense?
No. We invented a device, and we named it after our family name because our family name was already Knobberknocker. So that's what. So our family
it's just a
name
coincidence.
comes from that device. Well, he says that not exactly. I honestly think that he's like, why are we even talking about this? But I think my family. I think my family named their last name after this device. Although I don't exactly know for sure.
That
But
would make more sense.
semi-famous. We don't know though. I don't know. It's generations ago.
Well, it's
I'm
like,
not
if your last name is Mason, it's because your family is historically
Yes.
Masons, and if you're Smith,
Yes, except for quite frankly, it could be that our name was always Knobberknocker, and that's just what we named the device. It's very, very vague. I don't know.
Thank
Actually.
God it actually
at some point, you didn't have a last name because, we don't
Yes.
do this.
Yes, that's right. But I'm very, very proud of my last name. No making fun of my last name.
No, it's a great
No,
last
yeah,
name.
no, it's
We meant
great.
nothing by it.
Is there
so-
like an iron Knobberknocker in your family?
So your
No,
cousin?
there's no iron Knobberknocker in my family.
What about
Do you
platinum?
have any brothers and sisters?
I do. I
What
have
are their
12.
names?
I have 12 brothers. And
What are
one
all of their
sister.
names?
He said,
Oh,
well,
Orion?
God.
Stop
No.
antagonizing our guest.
he said, well, I mean, I
wanna
can
know
tell
the
you my
names.
brother and
I wanna
sister's
know.
name.
I want to know.
He says,
I
he
do
said,
want to know.
but he said the reason why I'm here, however, is he said I heard you could help me with my friend, Macretus.
Magritus?
Macretus.
Let's
Have
see.
you heard of Macretus?
Close relation to Norman Reedus?
I
Make a history check to see if you have heard of Macretus. By the way, Henri. Macretus is also canon.
would I be able to make that check as well?
22.
Yeah, you can. You can. The only thing that you remember is there is an ancient, very old elf, very powerful wizard that is actually named Macretus. So you can only assume that this is like the same one. He's very old. So, but
So
that's all.
So Anu
Yeah.
would say the elf? The elf wizard?
And the other thing you remember is that the only thing that was distinct that you can remember, even from that, because he's so old, is that he definitely was like a devout worshiper of Lathander. But that's it.
Okay.
He said, yes, he said yes. The elf wizard. He said, he actually came up here to solve Icewind Dale's problem, but I haven't heard from him in almost a month.
What's the problem?
The never-ending
This
winter.
eternal, never-ending winter that's literally killing people.
Have you considered it just because we're so far up north? That the
He said,
climate-
yeah. He said yes, but he said, who? he said yes, but come on. He said people have been living up here for hundreds of years, and they've never ever they've always had seasons. It's always winter now. It's been like this for almost a year and a half.
Where did he go to check it out? Where did he go?
He said that. Well, he said I can point it out to you. We'll have to use some landmarks, but uh, essentially he went up north and he built this whole cabin because he was. And listen, I'm only going to tell you this if you can really help. So if you have to like promise you're going to help me because this is not something that's super well known, and if in case he had any enemies or something, I don't want to just go telling anyone that could like tell other people about this. But he had a solution. He was going to fix everything. He was building a magic item that was going to solve all of this.
Oh,
Oh my god! Just like
So
Abel was
you're
telling
lucky
us
we're
about
here.
this morning.
So you think
Yeah,
that
so
something
he
may
still
have
can't
happened
see. He
at that
still can't see in
burnt
the
out
room. Yeah, he still can't see in the room, Abel. But
Oh.
of course, your ears perk up. You can hear all this. He just can't see everything. But he says, yeah. He says, listen. He was building a device called the Summer Star that was literally going to bring summer back into this area. It was actually all attuned and everything. It was perfect. I just don't know what happened to him, and I'm a little worried because we kind of had a disagreement, and I went back and forth on how this should be created, and all of a sudden now there's just nothing.
Where was the Summer Star located?
Well, see, he was building it in the cabin, so I have to point out to you where the cabin is.
Okay. I'm going to be talking to him, and behind me, I'm making a hand motion to whoever's in the room, like put everything away. Like
Yeah.
all of it needs to go away.
Well, so unfortunately, Abel cannot put his laboratory thing away, but yeah, everything else, yeah.
All right.
But he said anyway. Listen, he said, Macretus, it's weird because number one, I have provisions to give him anyway, which you can certainly take to him. But he, he's been talking to me with sending, and I mean, it's like he's gone. I don't know what's going on.
The sending stopped a month ago?
Yeah, the 3 weeks ago to almost a month ago.
What was the last thing he said to you?
The last conversation we had was just about the device, but I mean, I hope nothing's happening to him or anything. But I mean, the more thing that's pressing though is the fact that, I mean, 3 weeks he has to have these supplies. He's going to starve to death if not soon. And I don't know what's going on. It's really weird. And by the way, I would go up myself, but you don't understand. You can die just getting there. It's really, really cold now, and on top of it, there's like owlbears out there, and all kinds of things that can eat you. It's like I can't even go. Like I thought about it. I thought about even hiring like a full sled team to go out there, but I've been told that it's super, super dangerous. Plus, I can't like just go walking around saying, "Hey, there's this famous wizard that's making this magic item, and he's going to save everybody," because there's bad people here. You know that, right? You have to be careful. There's all kinds of criminals and there's criminals and other things here that if they were to find out that, a very, very expensive, very, very powerful, very important magic item like this was being created, who knows what would happen. But if Hilda can vouch for you, and she said that, she said that there was definitely a wizard here with you anyway. So he said, yeah, if you guys could help me, that'd be great.
All right, perfect. So
if you help me, I will show you where it is in the map. But if you can't, then I've said too much already, and I need to go back.
We will help you, or at least do the best we can. But if we are discreet with the information you give us, you must be discreet with the information that we give you.
You said okay. Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So come in. I step aside and shut the door.
Okay, so he does come in. So immediately when he comes in, his eyes go insanely wide. He's looking at it. He's like, that is the most amazing thing I have ever seen. And he starts looking. He goes looking around. Yeah, he's like, what is it? What does it do? What is this?
I can tell you. It's my friend's. I don't know how he set it up or how he's going to take it down, but and while it might be the most amazing thing you've ever seen, you never seen it.
He said, and he starts like going through. He's like, can I sit there? Can I
No,
sit in the middle?
No.
it could be dangerous. I'm very sorry.
He said, yeah.
Yeah.
So right, and Abel, you would know this anyway because you're an artificer or whatever. But rock gnomes have a notorious history of being
I'm
decent
well
tinkerers
aware.
anyway. And yeah, I mean, this is by far the. You can tell that this is like he's seen, like essentially like he's fallen in love kind of thing. But yeah.
I understand that part, but
Yeah. Anyway, he's like that. He said, I can die happy now. He said, this is absolutely amazing. I can't even begin to understand what this is or what you have. Like, and he looks up at you, Abel, and he's like, who are you?
I'm able. You talked about saying things that maybe you shouldn't say. Right now, I shouldn't say.
He said,
So-
"Well, he said if you have a map, I can show you where this is." But and he, by the way, he does pull out the provisions. Provisions look like they're a couple weeks worth of food. He does have what looks like some kind of tinder box, and then some dried hay and some what also looks like some linens wrapped up too. He said, "Listen," he said that this is the tinder box and the hay. Be careful with them; they're magic. But other than that, everything else, you can just, make sure it gets there to him, especially the food. But he said, I am starting to get really, really worried at this point. I just figured that after a couple of weeks I would have heard something, but it's getting to the point where I'm seriously worried now.
Yeah, we'll try and go take a look. See what's going on in there.
Okay.
I-
All right.
I-
So he does go through and he shows you where it is, which I will do for you right now. Hold on one second.
Throughout this, Abel very much has kind of like a jealous boyfriend vibe between him and the gnome.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, he
And
is. He is. I
device.
mean, he hasn't left. He hasn't really like. He begrudgingly goes back to the map to even take his eyes off your device.
Oh, Chris, has it been
Yep.
an hour since I cast Disguise Self?
That is a good question. It's very close. That's a
Okay.
really good question. We'll say no for now. But you know that it's coming up to you're working on
Oh
your
yeah,
inspiration.
I'm Abel again, aren't I? I don't look like a
Oh,
common.
definitely.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
why he was asking who are you. Yeah. So hold on, guys, 1 second. I'm gonna put this here.
Yeah.
All right. So this, if you can see the blue dot, yeah,
Abel
he
looks like
does.
Abel.
Abel
Kino
looks
looks
like
like
Abel, and Kino is going to expire any minute. So
at least my disguises.
yeah, Kino's disguise is going to
I
expire.
explode. I
Yeah,
explode
yep.
into a pink mist.
All right. So the
What?
blue mark is where this is. And by the way, he explains. He's like, look, it's going to be at least 6-7 hours. He said it depends on how bad it is out there, though. It really depends on how bad things get out there. It could be longer. He said last time I even tried to get out of there, like last time I tried to leave town and get even like further north than East Haven, he said it was just a mess. There's been blizzards that have been popping up and all kinds of problems. So just be careful when you go out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen any Durgar in the area?
He said, "Yeah." He said, "I actually have seen Drugar." He said, "I know those dwarves are looking for Drugar." He said, "I don't. They're not very nice people, and I'm not going to tell them." But he said, when I was out traveling last, he said I did see what looked like a group of dwarves that didn't actually have a bunch of cold weather gear on, and I could pretty much tell that they were Drugar. But it's possible I was wrong because of the fact that the visibility was low, but I think I was right. I'm pretty sure I was right. I could tell by some of the markings on their wagon that I believe they were Drugar, but that's it though.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, we obviously have no business with them, but you don't remember the exact area, do you?
He said he looks at the map and he says, "Yeah, I mean I do." He said where I saw them was and oops, that's weird. Hold on. This thing is so fragile. All right. So he'll point to it here. Oops. He shows you there that it's the other blue dot. It's in this general area here, and I'll show you. Yeah, it's right there, right here. That's
where
just where he saw the Drugar. Yeah, you can erase this if you want to, but this is the general location where. Okay.
And they were traveling.
Yeah,
That's
he
why they're
saw
not-
them while he saw them exactly. Yeah, this is just where they were traveling. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Good to know.
I'll actually delete this for you guys.
Yeah, I'll let him know. Like, we don't have any particular business with them or, feelings against or towards them. We heard that they were in the area.
Yep.
And
Oh, that's so weird. There we go. Okay.
Oh, cool.
You can. It's yeah. Sorry.
That's awesome.
I'll put it down. Hold on. I'll put it down for you again.
Have you heard of a white moose?
He said no. Never heard of a white moose.
Is that a drink?
Yeah, it's goat's milk that's
Oh
flavored
man,
like
this
chocolate.
thing's.
So it's chocolate milk.
Why
is it
is
called
it
a
a
white
white
moose?
moose?
Yeah, wouldn't it be moose
No,
milk?
it's okay. It's down here on anyway. Here, I'll move your thing too. There you go.
But why? But why moose?
Like chocolate.
But you said it's you said it's goat's milk.
It's a kind
Why wouldn't it be a white goat? There must be some if they're
Okay.
getting milk.
of a lot.
It's also
Aren't
very
mountain
expensive.
goats
They
like
probably
the
shipped
cold?
it.
But why wouldn't you just call it moose milk?
Can you milk mooses?
I'm sure you
Geese?
could.
Moose?
I mean, they're not domesticated, so it'd be difficult.
I think it still says moose in plural. I'm not certain
I'm
though.
rubbing my temples.
Yeah, I said this has Wednesday vibes.
Yeah.
Is this what happens when brother's away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it might just be Tyler, Amanda, and I. We have chaotic energy together.
Oh, if Johnny was here, we'd be in rough shape. We'd have too much chaos going on. All right, so
back on this white moose thing.
no. Back. I'm gonna turn to.
Well, he
Copper.
does explain. He says the other thing to keep in mind. He said he built this cabin a couple months ago. I got to see some of the construction. You'll know it when you see it. It's a cabin on stilts. So it's hanging right above and overneath a chasm. So you can't miss this thing. Plus, it's in the middle of nowhere. So when you see it, like I said, it should be like, I mean, it's relatively new. Although I don't know how much snow has covered it or whatever, but so maybe you'll be able to find it that way, because you should still see, like, it's a log cabin. You should see the trees, the bark through it and everything. But
Why would he build it right above a chasm?
he said he had to. It's part of it, the location was very, very important. I don't know all the details, but he had to create the magic item in a very specific location. And this is a very powerful magic item. You have to understand. This is literally changing the weather around the entire region. So it's very, very powerful.
All right, well, that's good to know. We'll keep an eye out, and we'll be sure to bring these provisions to him.
He said, "Thank you." All right, so he walks out. He walks out begrudgingly and goes through it. He's still looking at your device, Abel, and he looks very, very sad, but he begrudgingly leaves the room and walks out.
Bid him a good day, and hopefully we'll see him around soon.
Yep.
I stare him in the eye until the door closes completely through the crack.
Yep.
I like feisty Abel. We never see angry Abel.
That,
Well, no.
do
let's
you
not
really
get
want to potentially get caught having done that? Oh,
So is Grin back to looking like Grin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Grin, you're back.
He didn't have
What?
he didn't have anything to say about a horned half orc.
No, that's the thing. He was so incredibly enthralled with Abel's thing, he didn't get a good look at anyone. And then he just quickly scrolled in the map and went through it, but he didn't say anything about anyone. And by the way, I assume Brother's still in his book and all that, so he would have said something about Brother, but he was still in his book. So
While since I have everyone here and Brother's still in his book, I'm gonna drop disguise self and take off the helmet.
okay,
So, I said quite a while ago that I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna tell Brother about this, but and you can see my armor's not super laced up nice and buckled down super tightly. I'm I figured I'll let everyone know I'm trying to keep this a secret, but since I agreed a long time ago that I would share everything I know with everyone else. So this is part of the reason I'm getting a little bit better with magic, and I'm just going to lift up the back of my chest plate a little bit. I'm gonna slide one of the metal plates to the side and loosen the buckles. And you can see covered almost perfectly by the armor and the large coat she has on, starting at the base of her neck and running down the length of her shoulder blades and out just below her arms, is an intricate and finely woven pattern of silver scales, smaller than a fingernail, that gradually taper off almost to form a snake-like skin around the edges.
yeah.
Ugh, gross.
Oh,
that's really cool. Is that one of those spell storing tattoos?
uh,
Does it
it's
let
not
you cast
tested.
magic from it?
It does.
Is it like a skin condition?
Not only does it feel like scales, but they actually even feel like they're a tad metallic in nature.
Do you need like a cream?
I turn back around. No, but they're well, thank you. They're metallic.
May I touch one?
I
Yep.
yeah. I mean, Andre's hands were pretty cold, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, as you touch this, by the way, they feel like dragon scales. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's
But I mean,
okay.
they feel exactly like dragon scales, and they act
They-
and look and yeah.
Abel's trying to wonder what type of metal it might be most like.
I mean, to me, they look like silver. But
It is so.
no
It is
more.
incredibly so. It is the sheen, luster, and the like I guess that the tent, Abel, does look like it is silver.
Okay. I
How
mean,
much
if I
are-
was going to
They're
guess,
gleaming too. By the way, they're
It's like-
gleaming. They're
it's like a
gleaming.
polished silver plate going on there.
Yeah,
Or
it is. It does look like polished silver. Yep, and they are gleaming. Yeah.
How much are
I mean,
silver dragon scales worth?
Your
Are
life.
these attached? Do you feel this when I touch that?
I mean, a little bit. Like, can you feel when I
Yep.
touch your hair? Oh wait,
I
Abel
have
doesn't
no hair.
Yeah.
That's really insensitive.
But you do, but you can, but it explicitly states you actually can. They are a part of you, so you can actually feel those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can feel them. And it's not an illusion. It's not temporary.
Not that I want to do it now, but if you ever get cut, I'd be interested to see if there's like what the inside is. It plated or is it all silver?
Yeah.
Can we try
Well-
and peel one off?
No, I really.
Oh,
it took me
that would
them a long.
hurt.
Nope, I'm lowering the armor and I'm putting my coat on and I'm putting the hood up.
Yeah.
Don't scale me. I just got these. It took me so long to get these.
Jesus.
Bryn,
Really?
we get in fights all the time. You'll get to see some
If
of the
one
time.
falls off, you can have the first one. How about that?
Aw.
Great.
But don't pull them off.
He gets the first one. That's not fair.
Well, you can pass around.
Take one down.
I don't plan on losing. I don't plan on losing any. First of all, so yeah, that. I don't know how Brother's gonna feel about that. I'll be honest. I did not expect me to be the first one to get scales here.
Wait,
Who did you
doesn't
expect to
his
be the
god
first
have
one?
silver dragon scales?
What?
Doesn't his god have silver dragon scales? Well, not silver, but silver colored ones.
He does. He does.
He
Seems
does.
like he'll be happy about it.
I mean,
Right?
Specifically,
It would
they're
be
platinum.
a sign from the gods.
would Abel be able to distinguish silver from platinum?
I think so in general.
I don't
I-
think that's
I
Yeah,
think
but
so.
Abel probably wouldn't know the Bahamut. I mean, he might know Bahamut's made out of platinum. He may not. I mean, as far as the scales are concerned, it'd be up in the air.
But if he looked at Kino's scales, would he be able to tell whether or not they were silver or platinum?
Yes,
Well, platinum is-
Abel would. No one else would, but Abel would. Yeah.
Well, here, Abel. Here's a platinum piece for reference. I better have all the same amount of scales as
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it. Grin wants to take it, not me.
no one. Just look.
All right. I'll compare them if I know of any kind of
Yeah,
test to
and
tell
you can
I-
tell, and you can actually tell not just through that, but you actually send a very, very weak current through it, and you can tell for sure that it's probably enough to shock you just a bit, but it's not enough to do any damage, and you can tell for sure that it's silver, not platinum.
Whew, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Slightly relieved.
Only slightly.
I mean,
Also,
platinum.
Here's your platinum back.
Platinum, you'd be really valuable.
Warn me next time you shock me, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shocking turn of
That was
events.
different. That was
I am the one that gets tased, not Henri.
If Eyes Black were here, he'd put a cheese grater to your back.
Yeah, well, luckily he's not.
Yeah.
Also, he can certainly try.
Okay, so what should we do next?
I think we don't want to venture too far. We should probably wait until Brother's out of his book to, go all the way to the cabin if it's a deadly journey just to get there.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yep.
Should
This
I
is going to be
go?
a good place. We can do more role playing, but this is going to be a good place to stop anyway because the next stuff requires everybody. But
We could call it there.
Should I
Yeah.
look in my book if we're waiting for him?
Yeah. Let's do that at the very least. So, Abel, you are able to go back into your book, but remember, it takes 8 hours no matter what. So, Abel is going to be out of commission for 8 hours. So the group needs to either wait for Abel to level, or they need to go on. And Abel, you're gonna have to catch up, unfortunately. But it is going to take you. You're still going to have to go through 8 hours no matter what
Abel,
to
did
learn your
you?
new stuff.
So I'll ask, is this stuff you're rushing off on? Because I was gonna look in my book now.
I mean, I know I have stuff I would like to do. I point to the lab. Is that staying out? Are we? Can you bring him back?
Oh, yeah, I will see if I can put it away.
Yep.
I will try to put it into research mode.
Yeah, so do it. Go ahead and do an investigation check, but the only way you're solving this is a nat 20 other than solving the actual puzzle. But go ahead, do your investigation anyway.
Okay.
They're relatively simple puzzles, but you're still gonna have to do it on your own, unless you get a nat 20, in which case you figure it out.
Also, Chris, there's one thing I will want to do if Abel's
Yep.
jumping back into the book.
Yep.
I'm just gonna attune.
You're gonna do what? Attune. Oh, attune the book. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yep.
Oh,
You got 19.
19. The 27 total.
Sorry. Yeah. There's just no way to figure this out otherwise. You're gonna have to figure out the puzzle of this thing. That's part of its complication.
Yep.
Here's what you do remember. You remember before this transformed, it asked you if you were happy, in which case you said you were, and it transformed. You were talking about something like relatively technical before that happened, but that's the only thing you have to go on with this. I
will tell the Modron as best I can tell if it has some sort of face or something recognizable to it.
It doesn't anymore, but yeah, it completely doesn't anymore. The only thing that's recognizable is its spindly little arms, and that's because those are the arms that you're using with the control mechanisms to control things.
I will say I have to go study. Would you like to come in my book?
Yep. And unfortunately nothing. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it.
It seems to react to maybe emotions. Try emotions. You feel sad, you feel hungry, you feel inquisitive.
Yep. It's going to be a little tough for Abel. Abel, so you can go ahead and tell me as much as you'd like to try, and then to do an emotional response for you, it's still going to have to be a performance check.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you're forcing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll do that. I don't expect.
Yep.
I'm gonna aid Abel in this performance check.
Yep. Yep.
This is what emotions are.
Right there.
By aiding Abel, you're trying to. First of all, Abel, before you do that, Abel, what kind of emotion are you trying to feel?
I am trying to share something dear to me.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go for anger. I was really gonna help you.
I thought sadness.
That's fine. So yeah, that's why Kino. I just don't see how you'd be able to truly help with this. So
I had an idea if it was for upset.
Like, I think it wants to be a friend, so I was trying to be.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, go and do a performance check and see what happens.
Yeah, that's about right.
As flatly.
Remember, he can't see your roll, so you have to say it out loud.
Oh, sorry, that was a 3 total.
Yeah,
I rolled a 4.
It's okay. Nothing happens.
Yeah, if you can watch this,
yeah.
Please don't touch anything unless I knock on the book if I.
One thing that does stream into your consciousness is kind of like a thought of inspiration. Is you think, Jesus, next time like if you can get the Modron back to its original state, where you can ask it questions, you bet you can ask it questions about itself because it's obviously documented. So that would be something to try. You think?
What's asking it about itself?
Yeah, and
Head
it kind of like broke, remember? But
Yeah.
what you're thinking about now is that if you give it a specific question like how do I make
I'm sorry.
like and by the way, you know that you can't like make it personal, you don't think, because it was the personal aspect. That's the one thing that you've kind of figured out already, is that by giving it some kind of personal identifier, it changed into that monodrone. So
I'm just
your
wondering
guess
if
would
I
be something
use the
like
device to investigate itself, like.
exactly. So that what you're really trying to get it to do is to go through and you very specifically ask, so how would I make, and its name if you remember it, how would I make blah 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 transform into different like things, or something very very specific, then
Yeah.
you're willing to bet that you could get more information out of this. But to get to that, you need to be able to revert it back to its original form somehow, which you have no clue how to do yet.
I would, you know.
Yeah.
How
Or we need to find somebody, or of course you think about it, you just need to also find someone who knows about these beings. That would also be incredibly helpful if that were something that you could, of course, find.
I was thinking like restore to default mode.
Yeah.
How do I do that on unit Modron 7427?
Yeah.
7472. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and nothing happens now, but you do think that if you can get it back to that original thing, that's a really good question to ask it, kind of thing. So, or how to change these different forms and respond to it. But for now, it looks like you're probably going to have to go into your book and level while they watch this thing, and then
Yep.
you guys will have to find some kind of creative thing. Now, here's the other thing that you notice, Abel. This is actually light enough that you yourself could pick it up. It's that spindly and delicate. Even though it's a 5 foot like circle, this thing is super super light. However, sturdy enough to hold you specifically. So it's super light but super durable. That said, you still are very very protective of this thing, and
Can
you
I
are yet
hang it on
yet
the
to.
ceiling? Can I move
It
it?
it is possible, yes, because it's that light. It is
I
possible
will
to do something like
hang
that.
it up on the ceiling just so it's out
Yeah.
of the way and no one steps on it then.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
ooh, you want to hang it upside down for 8 hours? I feel like
I was just going to ask, Joe. I mean, the only important thing with that is just like, are you gonna build something custom for this and spend the time to do it? You can do that in like an hour or so, and I assume what you'll do is you'll do very very like precise like things to balance out the weight and everything else. And I think Abel would be able to do this.
I would take my 5 little, or is it 4 or 5 little devices that I can make?
Yep. Yep.
And have them just be clamps that hold it.
Yeah, and you could actually make them even more intricate than that, like basically self-balancing, counterbalanced clamps that would. Yeah, absolutely. You could do something like that specifically. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
and Abel, when you
And
get
that's
out,
just a
Yeah.
I have just a few things if we want to work on. I know you're probably going to be busy. Brother said he wanted to talk to you about doing some stuff. I have some stuff for my armor. Maybe if we find any fur, we'll pad some stuff, and then if we ever get this back, I have some questions.
Yeah, so unfortunately, by the way, Abel, you have been very busy. So when Brother does come back, just keep in mind, guys, Abel's been incredibly busy, so he wouldn't have been able to start on any of Brother's work because he was busy working on the ring, and now he's going to go in his book to level, just as
he
a heads
will
up.
hold out the ring and said, I think it stores spells, probably 5 levels of them.
Yep.
I'm not certain why it shot lightning out of it. Maybe that was a spell that was stored in it or something. I don't Did
Yeah.
I sense whether there was a spell in it?
There is definitely one spell stored into it, and in order to find out what that spell is, the person's going to have to attune to it, which you haven't done. So,
But I'll hold it out. I have lots of items right now, so I'll leave this here. It's pretty good. I mean, if no one wants it, I'll switch or whatever. But
I'd like it, unless somebody else really wants it.
I don't
No, I
know that
think-
I can use a spell ring. I mean, I lost my other ring, but like I said, I can't use a
It's
spell
I
ring.
if
think I heard. I think I heard one time that warlocks really like these.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
I
we
mean,
save
Yeah.
money then.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm
I
gonna.
mean,
I see how warlocks.
yeah,
Sure.
as far as a magic item, just to be fair, guys, we should at least wait for everybody to
Yeah.
speak up so you can
Yeah.
go through it, just
Yeah,
as
oh,
a heads
yeah.
up. Yeah. Yeah.
I just wasn't taking it in there with me.
Hey, speaking of magic items, does anybody, do either of you know how to detect magic?
Abel does.
Yeah.
They have this rock. And they show them the rock with the orc face and blood all
Yeah.
over.
Yep.
I'll
This
detect
might,
magic on it.
yeah, this might be bad.
Yeah, you want to do detect magic? Yep.
So I just roll. Just cast one.
Okay. Yep. So it is absolutely a magical item. Let me just make sure I get the school right before giving this to you, though. Hold on. So,
I can identify it. Nothing ever goes wrong when I identify things.
it
I mean, I'm holding
is.
it, so it's probably not going to hurt you.
I love this when they don't tell you. Hold on one second.
Just tell us the name of the item, and then we can look it up for you.
Well, that's the best part. The actual item doesn't have the identifier. How's that possible? It's a new item too. I don't know. It is actually called Orcstone, by the way. Wow, it really doesn't have the School of Magic. I imagine it's Abjuration, but I could be wrong. So it is absolutely a magical item. And if you're going to cast Identify, I'll just give it to you. But
I think that would be the plan. Yeah,
yeah, it does require attunement. So do you want to cast Identify?
Yeah.
I will.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Sorry.
All right. So as an action, you can use the stone to summon a spirit of an orc warrior, which appears within 30 feet of you. The spirit uses the orc war chief template, which is an 18 strength, 12 dex, 18 con. Decent. Like it's basically like it uses a great axe, 1d12 plus 4 damage, plus a 1d8 slashing damage. So I mean, it's definitely a decent summoning stone. It's got 93 hit points too, so it's not. It's decent. Yeah. However, when you cast Identify, you realize that this item was another item that was not made 100% perfectly, and after the third use, it's going to dissolve into dust.
Oh, okay.
So it's got 3 uses total.
But this is of emergency kind of deal.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll come.
By the
in
way,
clutch.
the Orc War Chief that it summons is Chaotic Evil. However, it will follow. Here's what it does. It summons a real, living Orc War Chief that's somewhere out in the barbarian tribes of going through. Once you summon this Orc War Chief, it is going to stay along for the duration that it lasts, which I'll give it to you.
Probably.
And it will follow your commands. It will follow your commands, but it is, yeah, you're right. It's probably his conjuration, but it is chaotic evil. So just keep that in mind too. And he only lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But if he dies, yeah. Can you see it? Can you see it on there though?
No, it didn't. But I looked up the different schools and I was like, well, conjuration.
Yeah,
is
it's
this.
got to be conjuration.
Yeah, no,
You're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't have a designation for some
I went
reason.
to
But
5e tools because I saw it and I was like, oh, I can go check out the actual module, and I was like, probably a bad idea to even look near the actual module. Considering.
Yeah, no, the module is actually this module, so it wouldn't matter. But
I meant
anyway,
the actual book. Like,
oh, gotcha.
D&D Beyond
Yeah.
has the actual books in them, so I was like, oh, I can actually go into the book, but I didn't want to accidentally look at something, so.
But just keep that in mind. Whoever's going to use this, it is a real orc war chief. This is not a construct or whatever. This is the real deal. It is going to be chaotic evil, but it will absolutely follow your commands for 10 minutes until it disappears.
What happens when you kill the orc war chief?
That's
you summon it?
you have to find out. But it will really be dead. It's really summoning a creature. It's taking a creature that exists in the world and you have it for 10 minutes and then it goes right back to what it was doing. But if you kill it, it's dead.
Looks like-
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So back in his tribe, 3 or more or so, like
He just disappears, exactly.
other orcs die, fighting for who the new leader is.
Yeah,
and then you summon
exactly.
that
Exactly. And who knows if you summon the same one? You'll have to figure it out, but yeah.
Watch like the first one we summon is like Bryn's father.
But yeah.
Dad? Is this where you
Why
spent all
wouldn't-
these years?
I wouldn't know that.
I'm very glad that Evil Grin does not have this item anymore.
Who knows where he got it or any of that, but yeah.
It's Evil Grin's dad.
summons evil grin.
He's not a war chief.
Yeah.
Just the two Spider-Men pointing at each other.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, we'll figure out some stuff to do while Abel's in his book because we want to make sure he's leveled and good.
Oh,
to
by
go.
the way, you would actually know this. The symbol on the stone is of the Many Arrows tribe. Pretty famous orc tribe. So you would know that, Grin.
I mentioned that to them.
Yeah. Yeah. It is the Many Arrows tribe symbol that's on top of that stone. So
Where are they from?
So Grin, you tell them that they're basically from a region north of Daggerdale in the woods. You know it only by the orc name. You give it to them, but nobody's has any clue. But you say it's north of Daggerdale.
I just nod and go, okay.
Yeah, it's part of a forest area.
Yeah, I've never.
But
met
but they
them,
were but they were known to be pretty vicious. They were known to be pretty vicious.
yeah.
They this is one of the original orc tribes that went around just killing people and basically gave orcs a bad name. They would slaughter whole villages and this is the very same tribe that Luskin was literally overrun by orcs, the Many Arrows tribe. This is why orcs have such a terrible name. Because although it's gotten, after a couple hundred years, this has gotten much better even for you, Gren. But they used to be if we were back 500 years ago, people would literally attack you on sight. They'd kill you for entering town, and a big part of that was because of the Many Arrows tribe.
This isn't the same siege that happened that Dragon was killed during, right?
Oh yeah, the Many Orcs tribe in Luskin. Yep, same exact siege.
Same exact siege. Ooh, that's
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, it's the same exact siege. These guys were a vicious. They're much smaller than they used to be. This is one of the predominant orc tribes. Matter of fact, they're also responsible for the death of a bunch of elves and a bunch of other cities, not just Luskin. But they were super powerful orc tribe back in the day. Yeah, and they were one of the first ones to organize and get a bunch of the orcs to stop fighting each other and start conquering human towns.
Do I know that they still exist somewhere, or is this like an ancient?
Yeah,
tribe?
you do, but here's the thing: no one really knows where they're at because they always move, and they have stopped invading cities because that's how. So this is what happened. Eventually, in the entirety of Faerun, said "fuck this shit," that's it, and they literally started genocide against this tribe. They just anytime, especially if they had the symbol on them, they would just go out and try to kill them. And it wasn't just one city. Everyone in Faerun was like, enough is enough. After they had slaughtered a bunch of elves, the elves kind of organized this and said, fuck it, we're going to kill every single one of these. We're going to wipe them off the face of the earth. And so they exist, but they constantly move.
So I
because
shouldn't
of
go
that.
around showing this thing off.
No, it's got a bad rep for sure. But you would know all this. This a lot of orcs do. I mean, a lot of orcs hate these guys on top of it because this is why people are still racist today towards orcs and stuff. It's this stupid tribe. There's others, but this was the biggest one that went through and just I mean, they did horrific things. So,
it stands to reason this thing summons a many arrows war chief.
like, yeah, correct.
Grin says that out loud.
Yeah, and they're pretty evil. They're pretty fucking evil. They're chaotic evil. Yeah,
Hell
but
yeah.
yeah. But they're also great fighters. They're really good fighters. So yeah. But it will listen to, but because able to identify, it's absolutely going to listen to you. It might be able to speak on its own and do whatever, but it's gonna, like, you tell it to attack something, it's gonna do it. So
They speak common, right?
yeah, well, as far as you know, they do. But yeah,
I'm asking Grin. That tribe
Uh,
speaks common, right?
you would know
far
that
as I
they
know.
do, Scrim. Yeah, they definitely do.
Okay, so we should be able to command him then, or whoever's got him. Or you speak Orc if you have it.
Maybe we don't tell brother about this thing.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. He'll
How
probably
many
want to
things are we not going to tell brother?
Well, no, I'll tell him my thing. He's just in his book right now. I motioned to his book that he's not here.
I just think he'll want to break it.
All right.
He probably will want to break it.
I think
It's okay.
probably telling him things is going to help him trust you guys better. I'm not going to tell you, for you, but maybe tell him. And like, if he asks me, I'm not good at lying. So,
here's the way
there's
I
that.
see it. We have a strong ally that will listen to. I mean, let's be honest. Listen to Grin, because I'm not going to be the one using it. Grin will be. And if he helps us win in battle, he's here for 10 minutes. If not, he dies, and then we have a very chaotic, evil war chief off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I mean, we could just use it to
anything
kill
is-
3 war chiefs.
So, I mean,
Yeah, if the enemy
worst case
doesn't finish it
scenario.
off, we will.
Yeah.
I mean, any item that summons something, a lot of the things you summon are kind of, creepy. And, are up to their own things. So, I mean, this isn't any different.
Are you saying orcs are creepy?
Only when they try and kill you.
Evil orc warlords are?
Just evil orcs in general are pretty creepy. Not you, Grin.
I mean, maybe there's a better word than creepy.
Okay, Grant.
probably.
One thing you would think about as well, and Kino, I don't know if you necessarily want to tell Grin this or whatever, but so Kino just had a very, very, very racist interaction with a bunch of dwarves, and unfortunately, that's going to be a thing up here in the north, just because there's a lot of people that aren't even close to civilization or whatever. So, Grin, if you put 2 and 2 together, you might start to come to an understanding that a orc, and especially maybe an orc with horns, like, that might not be the best thing walking around, and you're just gonna have to deal with it if you get hit with that stuff. But we've already come across some racist dwarves that really hate Drugar. So
I'm not saying Abel is racist, but he doesn't avoid those verbal minefields well.
Yeah.
Grin would be, not unaccustomed to some racism.
Yeah, and so the other thing to keep in mind too is that you haven't seen any yet, but everyone knows the story of Drizzt in the sense that Drizzt lives in Icewind Dale. If Drow are living here, then there must be some people that are, tolerant. So, or just they just don't give a damn. But Kino did find a pretty racist group of dwarves. He doesn't know if they're racist to everything, but they really hated the Drugar, and some of them might even have been just making shit up because they hate Drugar. Who knows? But Kino did already find some racist people. So
yes. Oh boy, were they racist? They were almost racist towards everything.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it. And Grin, don't worry. If anyone gives you shit, they have to deal with all of us, and I'm sure that there's a queue forming of things people will take offense with. Now that we're all out in the open, undisguised.
Oh, are we making more enemies again? We're not supposed to do that.
Not yet.
I mean, we're just not yet anyway. Uh, we're not like the most nondescript bunch.
I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, if people are smart and here they seem not to ask a lot of questions, if they're smart, they won't fuck with us.
They also seem kind of backwater, so maybe not too smart.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, most of the racism towards orcs and half orcs isn't like they're walking up to pick a fight with me. They're usually like, you know,
Well, that's right.
pointing and gawking and ushering their children inside.
And from your experience, by the way, you don't suffer a huge amount of racism.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. From your experience, orcs in the past 100 years specifically have actually gotten to be really good. Drow still have a decent amount of racism just in general
Drow
because
are
they're
all
like,
evil.
oh, exactly, because like, oh, Drow's here. They're coming here to take our kids. They're coming here to
I mean,
take
that's
us.
just true.
They're just gonna slave us.
Say that?
Yeah, but
Grin,
no,
did you say that?
because I'm talking out of character, so I don't think
Right.
so. But
Okay.
but the reality is that yeah, I mean, Drow still are prominently people don't trust them because they're slavers. Orcs have gotten a lot better, but just as a heads up, because this is backwaters that anything. It's possible that because Icewind Dale does, from a matter of fact, you guys don't know this, but Icewind Dale has its own thing with orcs specifically. That's
I
one
just-
of
So,
I
so
just
if we hear
picture-
banjos in the distance,
I'm just picturing Grist actually crouched under the eave next to our window, like scowling.
yeah.
I mean, if asked about Drow, Grin would express that he doesn't like them.
Yep.
No,
Just
it-
saying.
Lots of people have problems with Drow. So
They're all evil, so they steal children.
Not all drow.
not all Drow.
They
I-
actually have a goddess of not being evil.
I was taken in by a very nice Drow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
well,
He did not kidnap me. I was just on the streets, and he just took me to his house,
Just
where I
saw-
lived for a great number of
That-
years.
Just saw
sounds like
Kino.
kidnapping.
Just saw Kino and was like, "Is anybody gonna take this child?" And didn't wait for an answer.
I mean,
I'm-
it sounds like it's just not kidnapping because you didn't have parents to like report it.
I mean, I also kind of disagree.
from an out of character stance, by the way, I imagine Kino and your backstory. That must have been a perilous thing for him too. Like if anyone had ever like if he's living in a city and he's like, oh yeah, I just found this girl off the street and she's living with me, like it would have been a disaster, like absolute
Yeah.
disaster. So you must have. I mean, people would have basically been like out for that guy's head. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So that makes sense though. You did it perfectly because in your backstory, I think you guys live away from people anyway, or
Yeah, he
did.
had his
but-
own place, and I really did
Yeah, yeah.
move
See,
the
I don't,
property.
But
I don't think that
Yeah.
scenario is too, like, frowned upon because that's what this group did with Honorary. So
I mean, we
yeah.
We found you
Yeah,
in
I
a
mean-
tomb, though, not like out on the street.
I was gonna say they found you pretty capable, but like this is literally like some like a grown drow adult man. He takes like this
Yeah.
very small like girl, and it's like, oh, this is mine now. And, like, I mean, like that's obviously
Yeah.
that would have caused
How-
some problems.
How
like,
old was Kino when this happened?
Oh no, I was like 12.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
sus.
she was young. She was young. So
grooming them young.
Oh no, this now that we're saying it all out loud, it sounds real fucking bad.
yeah, but
Starting to realize
no,
how
yeah,
dark
no,
it is.
it's actually a testament to how good your father is, though. Because I mean, like anybody who would have seen this, like outside of it, they would have literally found this guy burnt. It's like if they had seen this, if there was another alternate universe where like he was living in Neverwinter at the time, and someone realized that a drow took some young girl off the street and forced him to live with them, they would have literally burned his house down. Like because they just assume that that's what drow do. They take people, children, other things, they force them into slavery, sell them off or whatever, and that's why people hate them. So if they had seen this, yes, you would have had a big problem. But I mean, in your backstory, everything makes sense, and it turns out your dad actually was a decent person, a good person, but which by the way is not uncommon either. The drow, I don't know if anyone actually knows the real history behind the drow, but they have a completely bad route. It's a very tragic story. Henri will
Well,
learn it
evil.
one day, but But yeah, it's really tragic, actually. Very tragic story.
Put it that way.
With like a favorite equivalent of Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kino's patting her forehead with a handkerchief right now.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna go tune to this. Let's not be racist.
No, it's all good here.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, you're not one of them filthy drow.
Oh. All right.
I think we could call it there.
Yeah. Yeah, we can call it on Grin's racism right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a good place to end it.
Abel's in this place where.
I mean, Grin does clearly know that Keanu's father was Drow, right? Like you've made that clear. Okay.
Would I know that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Actually, back. I think when we were in this. Oh wait. Oh
yeah,
fuck.
no, he probably doesn't know. He probably has no idea. Yeah.
I mentioned it to Evil Grin.
Yeah, he probably. I don't think.
I mentioned it to Grin before he started reading the book, the session before.
Well, Grin, in that case, you would, if that's true, then you would at least remember that. But probably.
Well, then I wouldn't have said that. Oh.
Yeah.
Filthy drow.
We'll end the session assuming that you did though, because that's hilarious.
Yeah, all right. Grin's already burned through so much of his.
But the funny thing is, the funny thing, I will say this. I mean, for like to us, obviously, it seems racist or whatever. But the truth is that the people in Faerun, lots of people have this opinion of. I mean, it's very common. Like they are famous for just doing awful things, and it really actually doesn't really have anything to do with the color of their skin. The prejudice exists because of what they did, and it's the same reason why orcs have such a bad rap too. The prejudice really has to do with their actions. Yeah,
it's Abel's only met like a handful of drow, and one of them was Jarlaxle.
Yeah, I also
only heard stories from other people since he moved here.
Yeah. Now the good news is Drizzt has done a really good thing for the drow in general. Drizzt actually talks about this in his books too. Like he really has done a good service to the drow because he's very, very famous and he's known as like this really good like adventurer that's basically saved the world in certain aspects, but also he's like known to be trustworthy. He has a code. He like people understand the drow's plight based on him. But at the same time, there's going to be many, many people who are affected by the drow personally that are still going to hate them very much because, again, like entire families, cities, all that stuff that they vanished into the Underdark, usually to die. The drow are not very nice to their slaves.
And I just
a lot of times they die. Yeah.
I just want to mention that most of what Grin knows about the outside world, like at large, he learned through like books about adventurers and like the things that they were doing, and those wouldn't have been nice to the drow.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And you guys know too, from an outside perspective as well. In real life, obviously, racism sucks. It's not a good thing at all. Yeah. But in the game, I didn't want to shy away from any of it because it's just too ingrained in Faerun in the story or whatever. So there will be things that are prejudiced and racist in that respect. But it's literally just because of the fact that it needs to be canon. So if anybody if it becomes an issue, or whatever, feel free to talk to me privately. But that's the reason why it's all there. So. D&D is actually trying its best, especially with orcs and other things, to try to get rid of all of that. As a matter of fact, I assume that in the next couple of books they will try to talk about some event that brings racial equality to Faerun or whatever. But honestly, I mean, it kind of is silly, and that's why all these things can be fixed too. These racial injustices and stuff, they can all be fixed. You just have to change the people's minds in the by actions.
I think it's
because a lot of the prejudice is based on actions. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's true to society that the racism just kind of happens. It's just from people's ignorance.
Yeah.
It's not saying that it's all true. It's just that this is what happened, and now some people feel this way, but not all of them are like that. That's how it is.
Yeah, it just happens to be that in this case, it's stemmed from a lot of people's fear and then personal things, like especially with the orcs too. I mean, the orcs are the greatest example of this. Like, literally 500 years ago, many people, 1 out of 5 people or more, would have been personally affected by an orc, and they would just hate them usually because they killed their parents, they killed people they knew, they ruined entire cities, people lost their livelihoods to them or whatever. And even that changed eventually, and I can live with that too because it makes sense why. Like, there's a lot that happened between that 500 years to go through it. It's just funny because especially when you look at Tasha's and go through it, the biggest part, and they talk about this a little bit, is like, yeah, we don't want people to feel uncomfortable with the racial thing, and I get it, but it's so silly because this is all magic, it's favorite, it's not real. And like, I know people like have amalgamations between like orcs must have been like a certain race of people and stuff. That is also not true, not even remotely true. Like D&D has apologized for this, but it's not real. Like for instance, J.R. Tolkien did not build orcs off of a race of people. Orcs were literally elves that got turned corrupted, so it's like it's not even remotely true. But
Yeah.
that was the other thing that they tried. Yeah, so but anyway, so
Also, obviously, Tom, all that uncomfortability was in character.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
know you're not
Yeah.
racist.
All right, cool guys. Well, this is good. You guys definitely got some information, so that's good stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Chris, you never saw my text. We never.
Oh yeah, it's because I still have my phone. Hold on, hold on. I can get it. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, my phone was charging. Sorry, Henry. Let's see.
I'm also
It's
attuning to that book.
completely unimportant, but it.
Okay. Yeah, hold on. Let's see. All
Honey
right.
milk chocolate.
Yeah, I actually no, it was before that. It was like 5 minutes into the session.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, that's definitely passed.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely happened like way earlier.
Yeah.
What?
I wanted Henri to attempt to throw a snowball at Kino without her noticing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyways, Chris, here, let me make a stealth check.
what's?
Nope.
We're
Anyways.
both terrible.
Chris, I do actually have to work out some. I think the time frame of what I said I did at the beginning of the session was a little bit off. Because I said I copied Counterspell first thing, but then I forgot that that would take 6 hours. So I would have had to do it later.
Oh
We
yeah,
have
yeah,
3
you
hours
will.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll do it during
Well, I mean, you have time between. I mean, if no one else is going to do anything, like Abel's stuck for 8 hours, so
Yeah, I was just. That's why I was just gonna say like I do it now that Abel is in his book, but I realized that like it would have been 6 hours at the beginning of the day. Like we wouldn't have gotten
that's fine.
breakfast or anything.
That's fine.
Grin's gonna go out in the cold and exercise to try and acclimate.
Oh God, he's gonna try and drag Henri out, isn't he?
Wait, Grin.
No, she's busy doing her nerd thing.
Grin, can I run with you a little bit? I meant to ask you, but then you turned evil and tried to kill me.
Yeah, sure. And I didn't
Okay.
turn
I'll be
evil.
right back, guys.
It wasn't me.
You got swapped.
Let's be
but
very clear on that.
I would like to go for a run with
I
you.
was being tortured, you know.
I know you were being tortured. Yes, and I'm sorry. I keep forgetting
It's
that.
still a little bit of a sore subject. It
Evil-
happened yesterday, as far as I know.
It doesn't
happened
excuse
like yesterday.
evil behavior.
Yeah, I know it's still a sore spot with me. He tried to kill me, which I'm sure I've told you once or twice.
You all made it very clear that he was an asshole, and I believe you.
Yes, because he's the complete opposite of you. You are the farthest thing from an asshole, Grin.
I'm the top of the head.
Grin, you're the mouth.
Thank you.
God. Yeah, so I'll go on a run with you.
Yeah, sure, great.
And
Can
then
you
I'll
keep
come
up?
back. No, I can't. I'm slower than you, but I'm faster than Henri.
Athletics checks?
That means
I
nothing.
whisper. Yeah, sure.
Did Grid actually have fast movement now too, on top of whatever con rolls are?
I have primal instinct.
Nat 1.
Nat 1. Very nice.
Yikes.
I just had breakfast.
So did I.
I had a beer.
That's not
I
bad.
had an
That's right.
entire gallon of milk.
We gotta get you.
Henri
A...
Oh God, yeah. You are not
Henri had
running
to
anywhere.
I just want to see.
I do not feel good. I feel sick.
Still managed to lower roll, even with
You
Kino
can't-
getting a
That's
nat
awesome.
one.
That's pretty impressive.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Where are you guys rolling? I'm not seeing it.
Gen chat. We're in the wrong chat.
Oh,
Yeah,
course, okay.
I rolled in dice rolls. I didn't do great either, to be honest, but it's probably because it's cold.
Cold never
Still
bothered me anyways.
acclimating.
11's still better than a 4 and a 3.
That's awesome. That I got a nat. I got a nat 1 and still did better than Henri.
Yep. That's in character.
That's
that
pretty
fits.
pathetic.
Yep.
I'm
You-
also running
you're
plate armor.
slacking.
I just realized.
You're slacking, Grin.
All of that
we
was
just,
ugly
we just
to
got
watch.
here.
Yeah, but you're letting her training fail.
Like,
I'm pretty certain you were one.
I wasn't here for a while, and we just got here, and you were doing your magic thing.
Grin, let's not go too far anyway. I just realized I look like me.
He's already disappearing into the distance.
All right, I'll meet you at the room.
Amazing.
I walk back into.
Amazing
I'm walking
content, you
back.
guys.
I just doubled over.
This
in
is the
armor.
most Wednesday campaign I've ever seen us have on a Sunday.
Yeah. This
I'm-
is a
I'm-
little
This is
chaotic.
the most Wednesday session for the Sunday campaign.
I
We-
love that.
We now know who's responsible for the chaotic energy.
More like we
It's
now
the
know
three
who
of
is-
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 1, 2, 3, and then John does a pretty good job at keeping it at bay. He counters all 3 of us.
Yeah.
Because clearly I am doing nothing to stop it.
You're enabling but not countering.
Yeah.
I gotta see what happens when I attune to this book.
I'm gonna stop this.
What book is it?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weatherboy?
Yeah.
Wait, aren't you attuning to a book
All right.
thing? Do you actually